Greetings, folks, and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is Alas Vegas, a surreal game by James Wallis about violence, fortune, and misfortune. The idea of this game is that it has rotating GMs or dealers, and so I'm actually a player this time. I did Act 1. As the dealer, and I have no idea what's in any of the acts following, so here we are. So today I am going to be playing the other guy, whose name, as it turns out, is Stan. And apparently he is... apparently he might know something about bartending. He might know something about some kind of... he had at least one fencing lesson, so we know that much about him. And that's all we know so far, but perhaps we'll learn more as time goes on. But let's go ahead and introduce everyone else, find out who they are and who they're playing. And today we are starting with James. Hello.
Hi, I'm James Silverstein, or Jimbo to my friends. I am playing Archie in the game. Archie apparently knows how to drive like hell, how to calm people down, and in a flashback that proved he was once a very not nice person, he learned he knows how to spot when people are lying.
Yes. Good. And now let us move on to Darcy. Hello.
Hi, I'm Darcy, and I'm playing Sarana. She is, as we've discovered, a parkour legend with a knack for lying. And I think that was pretty much all we figured out from her at this point.
Yeah, that was a good portion of it. And we saw sort of other things she did.
Really good at lying, really good at parkour, and really good at killing, apparently.
Apparently, yes.
So,
and unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, Jess could not be with us at this point, as she's got a lot of real life stuff going on, and we absolutely wish her the best, and all my love, and she was missed terribly. But let us now move on and hand things over to our dealer for this act, Katie. Hello.
Hi, I'm Katie. I use she, her pronouns. I am going to be the dealer for this act, which is very nerve-wracking, but I'm going to do my best, and that's you can't judge me because I'm doing my best. That's all. That's the rules. Yeah. So we're just going to jump right into it. Last we left off, the persona were in the office of the cornucopia where Mr. Go had brought the group up and had left them alone. And a door in the side had opened up, and Rebecca O had entered the room. She had come out and sort of looked at all of you, and I think had sort of left you all in silence. I can't remember if anyone had said anything or wanted to say anything as she walked into the room. But she looks pretty good since the last time that everyone saw her, running for her life from being sacrificed and encased in concrete. She's wearing a very slick business suit. Her hair is pulled back into a French twist. She looks very, very well in her new digs. She looks at all of you slowly, her eyes taking all of you in. She says, "You know who I am, correct?"
Yeah, it hasn't been that long.
Kind of hard to forget.
She tells you all that there's been some troubling news. Someone's planning a major strike against one of the big 5 casinos. A raid on one of its vaults big enough to potentially take it down. All of my sources can tell that it's likely to be an inside job. But the trouble is that it's not clear which casino it's going to be. Whether or not it's the Swords, I need to know. And I need people who aren't insiders, who are willing to take a risk and who can follow orders. Nate tells me that it's you. And I need you to do some research and keep an ear to the ground and find out what you can. You'll get a daily retainer double what Nate was paying you.
Double.
That's nice. Double is nice.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Plus, there's the matter of you coming in from the desert at the same time of the bomb blast.
Yeah, about that. You know anything more about that than we do?
That's really none of your business now, is it?
I mean, if you say it isn't, I guess it isn't, but that's not going to keep us from being curious.
You can be curious all you like. That doesn't mean you'll get an answer.
Not from you, at least. So what can you tell us about this heist, whatever that's going on that you want us to find out about? Because, I mean, us just going door to door knocking saying, hey, do you know anything about a heist probably isn't going to procure us anything.
Well, first things first, I've got a job for you tonight.
Okay.
And if you haven't noticed by now, the sun's setting. You look out the windows and you notice the day's gone kind of quick. You came over here when the sun was high in the sky, and it sort of confuses you because, you know, time is moving relatively quicker than you're used to. So you see the sun setting. This is sort of throwing you off. If you had a watch on you, you would have swore that the hands of the watch were moving way quicker than they were supposed to be. She says, "You remember where we met, right?"
Yeah, right at the edge of town.
I need you to go back there and bury something in the foundations. Something, not someone.
Okay.
Coyote, alive.
Oh, great.
So will you be providing this coyote, or do we have to go get one?
Are you telling me I hired the wrong bunch of tourists? I thought you were smart. Nate told me you were smart. Work it out. I got more important things to think about. Keep your ears to the ground, remember?
Right.
Okay.
So you want us to just toss a live coyote in there and put cement on it? That work?
She shrugs and leans back against the desk with her arms crossed. There's a car waiting for you at the front desk. The keys are there. A black Lincoln Continental. And get a change of clothes.
What's wrong with what we're wearing?
She raises an eyebrow and says, "You know what? You got a point. Keep those on. Better people think that you're not working for anyone important."
Oh, you dogged our chance to get better clothes.
She
I'm not going to
Picks
let
up-
us lose our heads. We're going to stay humble.
She picks up a piece of paper from the desk and goes behind it and sits down, and you can tell she's not paying much more attention to you anymore. Her attention's on whatever it is she's reading.
What if I'm gonna give like Archie a little thing, like, because she wants us to toss a coyote in cement. You think she'd have a fear of cement by now?
Yeah, you'd like to think that. Before we go, I got one last quick question. Does the word silver cloud mean anything to you?
She doesn't even look up to you. She just sort of shrugs. Should it?
Guess not. All right, I guess we're gonna go find us a coyote.
Do you leave the office?
Yeah, and I guess like Archie would pick up the keys from the front
Yeah.
end.
As you come back down to the floor of the casino, the same security guard who met them earlier, Patrick Dennis, the name badge says, he approaches you and he's holding out a cream-colored envelope to you, Archie. He says, "This came for you."
Huh. Okay.
There's nothing on the outside of it. It's just this sort of unassuming cream-colored envelope.
Well, once once I get it, I'll take a few steps away and open it up.
Inside is a single sheet of notepaper. It's bearing the letterhead of the Silver Cloud Casino. In strong hand are the words, "If you bring my book, I will help you. Come tonight." Signed with the letter H.
Signed with an H. I'll kind of show that to the rest of the group.
Oh, hey. What's that? It's that thing you found, yeah?
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering how anyone else knows about it.
Yeah, me too.
The security guard looks over at Valencia and says, "Oh, by the way, lady upstairs said she wanted to see you again, had another job for you."
Crap.
Be careful, V.
Good luck.
Yeah, she nods and goes with him. He says, "By the way, someone brought this letter to y'all. Said there'd be 4 of you wearing dead men's clothing." That's all he says before he leads Valencia back upstairs.
See? This is why we needed other clothing. I don't like the idea that I'm wearing dead people's clothing.
Well, we can still get new clothing if we want.
I mean, I guess all clothes are dead people's clothing eventually.
You're right there. You're right there, Stan.
Is that my name?
Stan?
That sounds about right.
Well, you know, it's better than our
I know you guys.
culture.
I just can't. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. We need to think on this book. This thing has a whole lot in it. I guess it behooves us to try to find out who its original owner was, but I don't know. I get this feeling that this thing is a lot more valuable than it looks.
I mean, I think it does have something to do with whatever heist that dude with the dog muzzle on, well, now dog muzzle on, was hiding
Maybe.
or trying to pull off.
Yeah, that's possible.
What if this is the break-in she's talking about?
Maybe. I mean, that's what I was thinking,
Well,
but
yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't we just come from someone trying to, just trying to Wile E. Coyote his way into somebody's vault?
And we still have that tunnel that we've just left, but we're not sure which casino it tunnels under.
Yeah, that's a
go
problem.
back to it.
I mean, I don't really feel as though it would be a good idea to like complete the job and go in and kind of ask them which casino it is. That might not work out.
No.
Probably not.
Hey, we can talk while we drive. Let's go get the car and
Here's
I
a
guess
car.
drive out to look for a coyote.
Ah, great. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get the keys from the front desk, and they know who you are. It's not hard to get them. They're more than prepared. They slide it over, and as you walk out front, there is a black Lincoln Continental that's waiting for you.
Think they left any weapons in the boot for us?
You can always check. Yeah, check the trunk just to make sure they haven't done anything weird and left a body or a bomb.
Yeah, I wonder if they left any people for us in the trunk.
Yeah, you check. There's nothing there. It's empty. Besides, there's the spare tire and the tools that you would change a tire with.
Mhm.
The car is clean.
Okay. I have no idea how we're going to take a coyote alive.
I think there's a way to do it. Hang on. Oh. I would like to cash in my my flashback. Kind of as I'm hopping into the car and I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a we're at a it's in a basement somewhere, and there's somebody we can't see entirely very well because they're kind of chained up to a wall, and there are a couple of dogs down here, who Stan is kind of feeding and sort of petting, and is like a couple of and is sort of like checking going back, and you hear some things sort of just kind of animals kind of in the background, and he's like, no, hey, listen, it's not up to me, okay? I just deal with these things, all right? And he sort of says, it's all right, they're good boys. And he will look, and as you sort of goes down, one of them is like there's one dog, and as he goes down the line of these couple of other animals, one of them is actually like a hyena, whom he also pets and leaves a bowl out for, he says, yeah, just don't give him a reason to like get agitated or anything. You'll be fine. You'll be okay, man. Just chill. All right. Good talk. And he goes up, and the door closes behind him. And I think that basically the skill I wanted to throw in that I kind of hinted at last time, but I didn't actually have an official flashback for, is I'm sort of angling for, can I get like a thing that's like either would involve animal tracking or just animal care.
Like animal handling?
Animal handling, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Like, I think I might be able to find this coyote, possibly.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're looking for one in specific. I think we're just looking for a coyote.
Yeah, I don't want to kill one.
Well, we're not supposed to kill it. We're supposed to take it in alive.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, but then we're burying it in concrete.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't think most people do not survive that.
It's true.
You know, Miss O certainly didn't seem to like it.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone would like it.
Maybe this is one of their weird good luck charms.
Yeah, one of those things Nate was talking about. I don't feel right. I do not feel right doing that.
Well, I mean, we can at least, I don't know. I mean, because I get this feeling if we say we did it and we didn't do it, that's going to be trouble for us.
Well, how will they know if we cover it with concrete?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're not going to know. They're not going to know unless they have someone watching us.
There's probably a dead coyote already in the desert. How will they know if we found it alive or dead or not? Throw it in,
True.
we cover it with cement.
That's true.
It depends. I guess they got beliefs about this, though, you know? Not appeasing whatever. Did you notice there was something wrong with the stars, too, by the way? We can't see it here, but I remember... No, anyway.
And the time? The fact that everything seems to be going faster?
Yeah.
So you guys are feeling that as well?
Yeah, it's not good.
There's a weird time shift type thing. Everything goes weirdly fast or slow.
Yeah.
And then there's that weird pulling feeling from the strip. It's almost like you don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Well, is there a thing like where that note? Is there like a time or something we're supposed to meet up with that person, or is that a?
Just said tonight, I think.
Right.
Am I right on that? That the message was tonight?
It just said come tonight.
Okay, tonight.
If you bring my book, I will help you come tonight.
Okay.
I'm just saying we might maybe have an alternative. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see.
And it depends how they're going to help us, too. I mean,
Yeah.
this is all really ambiguous.
So, like, I
But
guess,
yeah, maybe getting a dead coyote and tossing it in there, and
I mean, we do it at least halfway.
I think you could. You think if we do have to give the book away, maybe we should make a copy.
you think maybe there's a photocopier somewhere?
I mean, we could ask Mr. O.
I don't want to show this book to anyone else, but I like the idea of copying it. I mean, maybe there is a photocopier somewhere.
Might take a little while, yeah. But so if we're on our way to try to get hold of a coyote, I mean, we got two possibilities, right? So one is we can go out sort of looking in the desert and see if any have survived or not. And the other is if this is... See, it's Vegas. It's not quite Vegas, but it's... If this is as much like the Vegas that I kind of remember, somebody's going to have a coyote.
Well, yeah, but I mean, who are we? Once again, are we going to go knocking door to door and saying, "Hey, by the way, do you have a coyote?"
No, man, we
Is
pick
it
up
dead?
we pick up a copy of that trade journal again. See who's doing animal acts.
Yeah, but then that's getting a live coyote.
Yeah.
I suggest we go out to the desert. There's got to be dead coyotes out there somewhere.
Okay.
Besides, it means getting out of this city for a little while. Place gives me the
Is the tank full of gas?
Yeah.
Do you think that we could drive out to the crash site?
Yeah, that's only a 2-mile drive. That's easy. Might as well see it in daylight.
Yeah, I guess if you want to take a look. Well.
Oh, not daylight. Sorry.
Yeah, it's getting darker.
Okay.
I mean, we got headlights.
Yeah.
We got like.
Well, I mean, I guess if we do want to meet that guy by midnight, we should stick around.
Yeah. So just take a drive a little ways outside of town and Stan, if you think you can help us figure out where a coyote might be.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
There's nothing normal about this place, but may as well. Let's go looking for.
Let's hope the animals are fairly normal.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, you get into the Continental. You take a drive out into the edge of town. Around sundown, I think you can start to hear the coyotes. They're sort of screaming sounds. You start to hear them riling up. Are you heading to the blast site particularly, or are you just heading a little bit out of town to particularly look for coyotes?
Can we pick up like a side of beef or something on the way out so that we'll have something to give the just in case?
I think if we stop by Nate's, we can pick up some of the brown food group and bring it out there.
Yeah, Julia's working there, and she has no problem of getting you an order of a very rare steak.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
No problem whatsoever getting you some very rare steak to give to the coyote.
Okay.
Do we?
You head out to the edge of the desert. Anywhere particular you're heading to, or just random spot? Just sort of trying to track.
Yeah, I'm trying to sort of use what I can remember in my scrambled brain about how migration patterns work.
And I think it's going to be a skill.
Okay.
It'll probably be relatively complicated, just because this is you trying to track a coyote. Probably an 8.
Okay. Well, here we go. Yeah. And, oh.
Hey.
Queen of Wands. So you automatically succeed because I assume you're using your animal handling
Yeah.
skill.
Yeah. No, that counts as a 10 basically in the thing.
Yeah.
So it's a face card. That's right. Yeah, we're good. Yes.
Yeah. So when you stop the Continental, I will say that you've stopped and Stan is outside, sort of looking at tracks and, trying to parse where this coyote would have been, where they might be traveling in packs and things like that. And off in the distance, you see a pack of them that seem to be traveling a little bit away from you, but you've definitely got your eye on one or two, Stan, that are in range.
Well, there we go. Kind of wish we still had. Do you still have that muzzle? Anyone still have that muzzle?
I know I don't.
Oh, we left it on the guy, didn't we?
Yep.
This would be a lot easier. All right.
Well, and
Maybe
kind of.
I still have my rebar, as always, my trusty rebar. If you maybe just drive up really fast alongside them, I can just take a big old swing and knock one of them out.
Oh, jeez.
I don't think we have much choice unless you know a way to make one just come with us, or
I mean,
find one that's already dead.
I mean, these are wild animals, man. This is not like I can. I know a few tricks, but I don't know if they're gonna. It depends on how hungry they are. Since this is just like we're coming on sundown. If they're just starting to hunt, then they're probably all gonna be pretty hungry. But we can see where they were coming from to see if there's one that's dead. But aside from that, best bet would be to toss out, see if we can find one or two those one or two that are straying from the pack, and kind of just sort of lead them along with the meat, get them separated from it.
Yeah, I mean,
try to calm them down. That's the tricky thing. We gotta get some. Just need some branches or something we can put in the kind of keep them at bay if they get too much into it. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get them to follow us. That's like.
I've got the world's stupidest idea. If you want to hear it.
Of course.
The world's stupidest idea is to break off some of that steak, tempt them with it, and put the rest of it in the open trunk of the car. And then when one of them goes in, slam the trunk shut.
That could work.
I mean, it means we'll have to deal with them once we get into the city, but...
Oh, man, I wish we had some, I wish we had some anesthetic or something, put in the steak.
Yeah, time to think of that would have been when we were still in the city, I think.
Yeah. Probably.
Is there anything like maybe one of those little bottles of vodka and stuff in the in the glove compartment?
No, they don't have anything like that in the glove compartment.
Boo.
Get
Is
it
there
drunk.
anything in the glove compartment?
No, not that you see. There's a map of the city.
Well, that could be
I mean,
handy
that's
for
helpful.
later. Yeah. Right.
And it's sort of it looks like it could be a rental car, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Air freshener.
Yeah, that it's sort of your general clean type of car.
Okay. So, Stan, maybe you want to handle the stake maneuvering, because you seem to be the one who knows how to do these things.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I haven't baited a coyote recently.
I mean, Serrano will be ready with her super rebar skills to, back you up if necessary.
All right. Let me find a branch or something just so I can.
as you get closer, Stan, these things are already growling and snarling and beginning to snap at you. They're not happy. You're used to you with your memory. You're used to handling animals. These seem particularly angry for you to be in their space.
Like, I do that thing where I kind of am looking down. And I'm not, as I'm sort of approaching, and I've got a big stick in one hand that we sort of picked up in the desert, and I've got some of the meat, and I'm presuming we've already put some of the meat in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to kind of very cautiously, before I get too close, I'm going to throw out some of the meat that I have just to create the first part of the trail, and then back up.
When you throw the meat out, they both snap at each other as if they're fighting over, who gets this piece of meat. They begin to fight at each other. One of the coyotes, their teeth sink into the other coyote's neck, throwing the coyote back as the dominant one grabs the meat off, and it begins to spring toward you, wanting some more meat.
Hey, this way! I'm going to just I'm heading toward the car.
Yeah, I think this is going to be another skill test.
Let's see.
Don't worry. I'll protect you.
It's going to be even hard. You can use your skill, of course, and I think it's going to be even harder. It's going to be a 9.
Okay. It's like, it's all right, this way. Why did I agree to do this? Oh, God. Queen.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yes.
It's running towards you, snarling and growling. It's got spit coming out of its mouth as it's running toward you. The smell of that rare bloody steak.
Shit.
Yeah. What do you manage to do as it's like right up on you, following the smell of that steak, Stan?
So I'm like, hey, yeah, and I will take what's left, and I will just throw it right in the direction of right behind where the vehicle has its trunk open, just so that it can so that it'll hopefully go in that direction, and
like my foot
sort of,
from like inside the car.
Yeah,
ready to slam that
hopefully
beast
leap
down.
up, and hopefully it'll leap up into the trunk when it smells more steak in there.
Yeah, and it does, and it jumps up into the trunk, and you all see it like tearing apart this steak with its long teeth. And this coyote, it looks normal, but the longer you look at it, it looks transfigured. It looks eyes wild and aflame, and it's digging into this steak madly, and it's snarling and snapping, and it's mad as hell.
Can I like just whack it over the head while it's chewing on this steak?
It's going to be a skill test.
I mean,
it's going to be because it's not going to be a hard skill because it is distracted, but it's mad as shit, and so it's going to be I'll say it's going to be a 7.
I mean, we got to deal with this sooner or later. Let's do it
I
sooner.
guess.
Okay. Ooh. Oh. Does it want to come out? Please. Okay, there we go. Oh dear.
Were you? Oh yeah. Okay. So as you try to smack it, Serana, it's going to whip its head around, and it's going to bite onto your arm, sink its teeth into you. It's not going to like grab a hold of you. You're going to be able to get away, but it is going to take like a big chunk. It's going to like get a good grip on your arm for a moment. You're able to rip your arm away, but it is going to hurt you. It's going to be like a little bit of harm on your arm, but it does go back to its state. It sort of thinks you're trying to take its food away from it. Yeah, and it sort of distracts you. You can't get a solid hit on it because it thinks you're trying to take its food away, so it sees you as a threat. But it goes back to eating its food.
Okay, so I mean, if it's in the trunk, slam the trunk shut.
Slam the trunk down.
Yeah, and you hear it screaming and howling out, even if it's like totally distracted from eating now. And the other one that was out there comes running toward the group.
There you go.
We're leaving. We're out of here.
Yeah, you're all able to get back into the car. And the other one is scratching at the side of the Continental, howling, screaming out, making the noises coyotes do when they're in threat.
We are never going to get our deposit back on this thing.
And as you look around, you notice that it's dark. The only light coming from besides your headlights are the full moon, and you don't know for sure because there's no clock on the dashboard of the Lincoln, but it feels like it might be midnight. You're not sure how long you were out here doing this. It was distracting, but it's gotten dark as hell.
We need to move.
We need to meet that person, I guess.
Are we going to leave the coyote in the trunk while we have our meeting?
Yeah, let's keep it as insurance. You never know.
Yeah. Did I see the? I got to see the inside of the trunk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a tire.
Do I think that the coyote would be able to know its way through if we leave it in there long enough, or no?
You're not sure.
Yeah. All right. So I'll say, yeah. So we can do that and try to risk it. There is a chance that that our friend back there might know our way through to the back seat, though, maybe.
If that happens, it's not like it's going to steal the car.
Fair.
If it comes to that, then I'm going to have to put it down. Unfortunately.
Well, let's see what we can get hold of.
Yeah. And hey, who knows? Maybe this Mr. H will be able to give us something to anesthetize a coyote. I don't know.
Good evening. We would like a trank gun.
Yes.
So you're heading to the Silver Cloud instead of the business park first?
Yeah, I think that's the case.
I mean, when you have a coyote in your trunk, that's the best time to go to a business meeting.
Really? I have one in my trunk right now.
Is where we're supposed to be burying the coyote? Is the pit already there?
She told you to bury it where you found her being buried.
Well, that place is still open. I mean, I guess we could just drop it in and then turn on the cement mixer and go on our way real quick.
God.
I feel like that wouldn't be a quick undertaking.
Do you happen to remember how to run a cement mixer?
You're right. Meeting first.
Right. Okay.
So the Silver Cloud is on the edge of the strip. It's the southern end, and it's this monolithic building that covers an entire city block. If you know real life Vegas, it's Caesar's Palace. The whole side is boarded up and wired off on the main building. Grills hang over the doors and windows, and scorch marks of a mighty fire are still visible around most of the windows. You head there. You can hear the whole time the coyote in the back scratching and howling out. No one on the strip looks at you weirdly, but you can hear it, and I think you even hear this, like there's this awkwardness in the car that can be cut with a knife. Because it is very, very strange. You park in front of the building and you look around, and like I said, it's this huge building, but it's very, very run down. Nobody is watching as you get out of the car and you come to the front doors of the building. Even if people were watching, it's like they wouldn't care. You almost have this air around you that it's just another group of almost lost looking for somewhere people. Just looking for somewhere to go.
Yeah. Is there I recognize it's a very large structure, but is there anyone who looks like they work here and are of high enough level that we can say, hey, we're here to see H?
Are you going inside?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the doors are unlocked, and inside the Silver Cloud is gutted.
Oh.
Whoever set fire to it did a very, very good job. The walls and the high ceiling they're still black from it. The tables are twisted, and there's a collapsed shells of the one-armed bandit slot machines. They stand in uneasy rows like ghosts of sculptures in a very, very dark museum. Casino chips have melted into pollux of color across the floor, and it smells of urine and history and still just a little bit of fire. There's no light, apart from the glow of an elevator button on the other side of the lobby, and it appears to be in perfect working condition.
So I know what I'm gonna press.
Something. I know it's repetitive to say something ain't right here, but something ain't right here.
What is right? Honestly, what is right in this town?
You know, the more I see things like this, the more I keep thinking about fire and brimstone.
What, like this?
Well, someone had a lot of fire here.
No, I mean more like heaven and hell. I got worries about all this. But I guess the elevators are only shot.
I'm going to kind of, on the way over, if we're sort of debating whether we want to go to the elevator, but I'm sort of going to be looking around sort of kind of behind some of, or between and behind maybe some of the machines and some of the, I'm not going to take a long time to do this, but I'm just casually looking to see if there are any chips that have been left over in any of the machine slots or anything like that.
Yeah, everything is melted. This fire burned hot and it burned quick.
I mean, normal fire does not burn this way. This is like some serious chemical weapons mass destruction type fire.
This is definitely arson. I mean, not definitely, but somebody wanted to destroy this place. They did a good job.
Kinda wish we had our resident arsonist here.
Yeah,
too.
She'd probably be able to tell us more about it. Yeah.
Anyway, let's try this elevator.
Yeah.
When you press the button, the doors open. It's an elevator with carpets and mirrors. When you push a button on the inside, the doors close and it goes up. And whatever button you push, it continues to go up, and it doesn't stop until it reaches the top floor, floor 14. When the doors open, they open to opulence, a huge penthouse furnished with style and money. There's beautiful art on the walls, and the large windows give a view of Vegas that's hard to describe. But you will recognize one thing. The city is built of many circles, overlapping and interlocking. Roads that seem straight when they walked them, but are actually arcs. And at the center of the innermost circle is the wheel. The other major casinos are ranged around it as if in supplication. As you look, in a leather-upholstered chair, wearing a silk dressing gown, is a figure that you recognize from before at the cornucopia. It's a security guard, Patrick Dennis, a man used to hiding in plain sight. He looks suave, debonair, and contained, but at the same time capable of beating someone to death with a fire extinguisher without spilling the cocktail he's holding in his other hand. He looks at all of you and says, "Good evening. Would you like a cocktail?" And I think that's where we'll take a break.
Okay. That's a very nice swerve there. That's very cool. All right, folks. We are going to take a quick break, and we shall be back in just a wee bit. See you shortly. Welcome to the break. Greg is visiting us from Tales of the Grim, and I am very excited. I just wanted to talk to him about Tales from the Grim and various other things, what's been going on. Hello? How's it going?
I'm doing well, my friend, doing well. Nice to be here on the break. I seldom see one of these.
Yes, I know. It's like, this is what these look like from the inside, strangely.
It's good, spacious.
There's a lot more neon than I thought there would be apparently down there, but it's, these things happen. But no, the thing I wanted to sort of talk to you about this segment was finding out about how did you get into streaming and where your channel came from and all that.
Oh, it's that age-old tale. I was incredibly dissatisfied with my current like creative outlets, and so I was doing what anybody that should be writing is doing. I was watching YouTube, and I came across Will Wheaton's tabletop, and I thought, oh my gosh, look what I loved it. People playing board games, games that I'd never seen before. So I started buying the games and Dead of Winter, and just getting into all of these great things that I was saying. And it was my recommended videos popped up, and lo and behold, a little show, I think it was on episode 3 at the time, of Critical Role popped up. And I said, people playing Dungeons and Dragons, this is insane. And so then I started watching more, and I saw there was a place called Encounter Roleplay, and I watched a Cthulhu show, and I said, oh, I remember playing this when I was young, and the bicycles had one big wheel and one little wheel. And then I saw that they were having auditions to be a part of a cast, and I auditioned, and I was put on a show. And then I met a nice, kind-hearted soul named Tall Squall, and I saw that Tall had his own channel, and he had his own show that he had put so much into, and so much of his world building. It is called The Vice. And I thought, I had an idea for a show so many years ago. I wonder if I could do a channel. And then I started with Project Athena a couple years ago. So blame everybody that I just mentioned.
It's all
Will
their
Wheaton,
fault.
Yeah, Will Wheaton, Mercer, Will Jones, Tall Squall.
Ah.
And then
You
a
did
million
this.
friends.
You
Right.
did this.
Right. That's how it started, and then just a million friends along the way. So I couldn't be, yourself included, my friend, and I couldn't be happier about the situation and the progression and evolution. But that was the beginning. That was the first crack in the outside of the egg.
Well, that was very cool. I think the first show that I ever saw on your channel that I came across was Project Kronos, which was, my understanding, a spin-off from Project Athena.
Yep.
Do you want to talk a little bit about those Cthulhu games and how that came about?
Oh, absolutely. Basically, the idea for Project Athena and this kind of, for lack of a better word, a superhero group back in the 30s. I had that as a kid a long time ago. Flash Gordon and the Pulps and things like that were always just a focal point for me growing up. But it happened the way that all great things happen, whether it be a song or, Axl Rose is beating a beat on a tabletop and Slash plays something. I had a fantastic group of people that I thought, boy, I would love to play with these folks. And I ended up getting all the people that I wanted to play with, and with Allison and Strider and Lauren and Lindy and Steve, and getting everybody together and kind of circled up in that group. The world was built around their excellence, and together we put it together. And then the spinoff was here's an insight. It was X-Men #1, Amazing X-Men. The original team is captured. What do we need? Instead of going with like a new generation of younger international stars as they did in X-Men, I decided, wouldn't it be awesome if there was an older group that had disbanded for, mysterious reasons, and that Dawn came in and Kiana came in and played a married couple that were older superheroes, pulp heroes. And they went in and rescued the Project Athena Olympians, and thus Project Kronos was born. And I had this whole other group when Summer and Finney came in for Project Kronos to weave this incredible tale that I was just drug around with most of the time, getting fan fiction from Allison that was amazing stuff that was like 20 pages long, and I would devour it in like 5 seconds. And I'm a very slow reader. And it was just fascinating stuff. And it was just a shared experience and a collaborative narrative. And once I tasted that, that's all I ever wanted. I didn't want, there's some great produced modules for D&D and all kinds of systems, but I knew from that point forward that the majority of the things that I wanted to do were like that. So
cool. There was a point where your channel went from Grimjack 21502 directly over to Tales from the Grim, and it's now you've got like a staff and stuff. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that happened?
Well, yeah. Basically, I have friends, thank God, and they like to tell stories too, thank God. And Don, Kiana, and Lauren were able to come over and tell some fantastic stories, and create masterpieces, of which you were part of many of them, coming in for the various Lauren's Bad Moon Rising, and we just, Kiana was playing characters at one point as many shows as I was on Tales from the Grim, and Dawn, of course, telling me Black Roses Bloom, and playing on things whenever things would pop up, and there was a lot going on at one point, and that was of my own doing. I had way too many irons in the fire, but I wanted to play all the games. And luckily, though, like I said, I have great friends that were able to center me and have my back. And it's the best. And it's almost, and again, here comes a sports ball analogy, but Steve made this, and my buddy Steve Big Pig made this analogy, and he said it's like a coaching tree where you have like the great Vince Lombardi or the great Bill Parcells. And Bill Parcells at one point had an assistant by the name of Bill Belichick, who becomes this great coach. And it's like the encounter role play tree where, it hatched Tall Squall, it hatched his channel, it hatched Tales from the Grim. If you follow it, it hatched Salty Sweet Games. It hatched all of these fantastic kind of things that kind of sprouted from that original community. And the stories have just been absolutely excellent. Scraticus and everything that he and Alice are doing over there, just fantastic stuff. I'm just such a proud small member of a large galaxy of stars.
Well, it is an awesome galaxy to be part of, and thank you so much for coming and talking to us about it. I really appreciate it.
No, I like I said, I like to stretch out and enjoy the break. So
It is a glorious thing. Thank you for bringing a bit of insight to this one. Thank you so very much.
absolutely.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to now send things back over probably to me. So we will see you later. Take care.
So, I got a question for you, a real simple one. Um, Obviously, if you sign your name H, it's not Patrick Dennis. Who's H?
He looks at you and says, I'm known as the Hermit.
Oh, yeah, heard about you before. And I'll take out the book. I won't hand it over immediately, but I'll take it out.
He says, I can help you. You give me the book as a gesture of good faith. If I can trust you, I have a proposition, a joint enterprise. And he turns to go back and goes back to the drink cart, to the bar, and slowly begins to make martinis. When he turns back, he gives one to each of you who doesn't have a drink. They're gin and vermouth at a perfect crisp temperature, but instead of olives, each one of them has a you notice that they have specifically 6 pomegranate seeds in each of them.
This is something I can get behind. Give the man the book.
Oh, I have every intention to. And I just hand him over the book.
He takes it and he smiles at you.
So,
We need to build up some mutual trust here. Trust doesn't mean no secrets, of course. It means respecting each other's boundaries. I'm not asking for your life stories, am I? So do we have that respect?
I think we do. I mean, I just gave you what you wanted without really asking for anything in return.
He gives you a little smile. Then we can work together. You can get me what I need, and I can help get you out of here.
Get us out of here.
What exactly do you mean when you say get us out of here?
Well, what do you think?
As in out of the city, or that the whole black elevator spiel?
So you do know a little bit about what about being here then?
Well, that's it.
What questions? Do you have any questions for me? Specific ones?
Well, I mean, get us out of here. Where would we be going when we were not here? A lot of us don't even remember where we live.
How'd you end up here?
I'm gonna look at the two beside me, and I'm just gonna go. We crawled out of the ground.
So that's how some people get here, right? Some people wake up in a hotel suite on the strip with a cash account ready to gamble. Some people wake up in a cheap motel on the outskirts, or a nice suburban house on one of the new subdivisions, or a bed in a flop house. I heard of one guy who woke up in the fountains outside the cups, and some people wake up in the desert. But I've not heard of anyone being that far out in the desert for quite a while. It means you really rub someone the wrong way, and that you've got nothing to lose.
I don't
have any memory of it, but it sounds like the story of my life.
Yeah, I'm still a little confused. I mean, what is that? Do you mean that I don't know. What do you mean that people just wake up here? I mean, people don't just... Is everyone like this?
He sort of shakes his head, and he's got a bit of a smile on his face. You're just not putting it together, are you? Listen, anyway, here's my bargain. I want you to rob a casino for me.
Seems like a popular aspiration in this town.
Yeah, seems like.
It's the trouble with a million chips is that you get about 3 to the ounce. Even if you're packing 10s, 20s, and 50s, you're still looking at a quarter ton of clay. You need the big numbers, stuff you can fit in a little case or even in your pocket. He begins to idly flip a rectangular white chip from the table across the backs of his fingers. The gold number 25,000 glints in the low light. The thing I need, it's in the same place, not a chip. Made of chips, the same way a diamond is made of coal. To be honest, I've never seen it. Neither has anyone I know, but I know it exists, and I know that you'll know it when you see it.
What, I mean, not to downplay what we've done so far, but what makes you think that the three of us are going to be capable of robbing a casino?
You have nothing left to lose.
So Savannah's really silent in all of this as you're like explaining what you need done, and then like look. Oh, are we dead?
He smiles at you, a very knowing smile. But he doesn't answer.
I told you, this was going to be zombies. This all came down to zombies.
It's not zombies. We're not zombies.
I mean, as far as you know.
Listen, we bleed. Apparently. We hurt. We don't remember where we are. We crawled out of the damn ground.
Like zombies.
You want to get out of it, right? You want to buy your way out of here?
I mean, if we do and we're dead, what does that mean? Do we come back to life?
Not exactly sure.
Oh, that's very comforting.
So wait, you're saying this isn't none of this is real?
Oh, it's very real.
This is... I mean, we did have the inkling we were bad people, but I just didn't think we were that bad.
I mean...
Oh, I was that bad.
Are you serious? How the hell...
Has there ever been a case of people waking up like together in groups?
I'm not really sure. I don't exactly keep a close eye on that kind of thing.
So, you say that people can buy their way out of here? I mean, that's what I'm hearing from not only you, but from someone else, too.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Hmm.
You know, look to Stan and Serrano to see what they're thinking about this.
Well, if any of this is true, if you've got any guns or shovels to give us, I think we already found a way into one of the casinos.
Well, to be honest, I haven't really decided what casino I want you to rob yet. It's not the wheel, probably not the coins, that's too obvious, but I'll let you know eventually, never fear.
Ah.
So this isn't an immediate job.
Not yet.
Can I ask, if I may, how many times you've had this conversation with people?
You're the first.
That makes me feel special.
What do you think, guys?
Well, apparently we need money to get out of here, so unless any of you are star gamblers, I think this is our only opportunity.
I think I just sort of, where did we leave Erin?
That's a good question.
I think she's been with you this time, just been sort of quiet. Yeah.
Like, I just sort of glance. If she's with us, I just sort of glance back in her direction, and I just sort of glance back.
She makes the comment that this house is too much even for her.
Okay. It's like, I mean, I guess it'll be worth, if you, it'll be worth giving it a try, I suppose, if any of this craziness actually works. But there's a lot to absorb, really. Yeah, okay.
As you're having this conversation, you hear the elevator begin to hum as if it's moving. The tubes above it counting up from 0. The hermit looks at it and he says, "Interesting. Is it possible that you were followed here?"
I
don't think coyotes use elevators.
I don't think we made any specific effort not to be followed. Nothing was said about that.
You weren't seen doing anything, were you?
No.
I mean, we drove past people on the strip, but they didn't seem to be paying much attention to us.
He sighs. He says, "You need to leave. I'll provide a diversion. Follow me." He pulls back a curtain to reveal a long, straight corridor. It has a plush carpet with a rail and dark panel doors leading off of it. He escorts you, talking as he goes. Go back to your boss. Do exactly what they ask. At the end of the day, there'll be a vacancy. Volunteer for the run and remember everything you see. I'll keep an eye on how you're doing and give my regards to Bob.
I'm going to try to, before he detaches from us, and I'm kind of sort of feeling like I'm trying to be sort of in the back because there's something I want to ask him, but I don't want anyone else to hear me ask him this.
Mm-hmm.
Just as he sort of grabs his wrist and I'm like, hey. And I just really more want to see his reaction when I say this. What are the pits?
He looks at you and he doesn't have a reaction. He doesn't give you any answer.
All right. I sort of turn my head. All right. Where are they?
He gives you a smile and he steps back and opens the door at the end that's marked fire escape. He says, like I said, give my regards to Bob.
Bob.
Guess we head out the fire escape. There's nothing more we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the way
Slow
down,
that out.
Archie says, "Damn it, forgot to ask for coyote tranquilizers."
Ah, crap.
Outside is the night and the stars, and there's a fire escape that's leading down. And you hear the ding of the elevator arriving at the floor in a bellow. The hermit gestures you to go and shuts the door after you.
Just going to run down.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we're dead?
Definitely dead.
It's crazy, though.
I think things are starting to make sense now. The body disappearing, lack of memories. All of us seem to have some pretty dark talents.
Why would the body disappear, though? I mean, if this is the afterlife, isn't that where bodies go?
Well, there's a bunch of different mythologies here. So many different religions we can consider, but bodies don't really tend to stick around, you know?
Which one has bodies turning into poker chips? Because I'm not familiar with that religion.
Church of Vegas, I
Maybe
guess.
God got bored. What do I know?
God, if this is a Church of Vegas, you know who's in charge, right? The Elvis impersonators.
Are you having this conversation as you're going down the fire escape?
Yeah.
We're like, right. Screw you guys.
The fire escape ends 4 stories above the ground. The rest of it is visible in a twisted heap of wrought iron below. The door on that level is fire seared, but you think that maybe you can get into it with a few barges of your shoulder?
I mean, I know Serana could take
Yeah, I
that
was like,
jump, no
keep up,
problem,
like, building
but
grab, boot that door down. Throw
Yeah.
some body weight around.
yeah, I'll let my more physical adept companions break the door in.
Yeah, you can break it in with a few good shoulder barges. And inside, there's carbon and desolation. There's no sign of an escalator on this floor. But you can probably look around and find stairs that will get you down. You can hear shouts above you echoing, like sort of similar to, they're human, of course, but it's similar to the cries of the coyotes hunting. You know that they're looking for you. And
Alright, guys, pick up the pace.
as you look around, this place is completely destroyed. It's burned out. It looks like what was once beautiful. This might have been a shopping mall, something like that. And as you continue to run through here looking for a way down, things are falling around you. Fittings are crashing to the floor because they're fire damage, and this is the first time they've been disturbed in a very long time. And there are rats, huge rats that you disturb. And the more that the things are you running through here carefully, or are you running through here quickly?
I think we're running fast. We're just like, whoa!
Yeah, the quicker you run, the more things sort of crash to the floor, and the yells behind you, the yells behind you get louder.
Oh boy. Does it sound like human voices? I mean, are there words being yelled, or
just things like get them, they're going this way, don't let them get away, that kind of thing.
Okay.
All right, we got to find a way down, and out of here fast.
Is there? I mean, since the floorboards are weak, can I just pound one of them?
The floorboards aren't weak. These were marble floorboards. They didn't burn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just things are falling down. Yeah, but you can get to the stairs very easily, and you're running down the stairs. When you get outside, you do notice through the doors that people are waiting for you outside. 4 locals, 2 outside the front doors. You can see that they're standing there looking like they are looking for someone.
Oh.
Hey, is the boot automatic? Oh wait, no, they're all...
No, remember,
No.
it's 70s. So, yeah, I have a similar idea.
Do they look armed?
They do not look armed.
Okay. Archie is pulling out the pistol that he picked up last session and just pointing it and saying, "Get the hell out of the way right now."
Yeah, this is going to be contested, so we're going to use the cards.
Yay.
I mean, I'll smack some heads in with my rebar if needed. I'm ready.
I'm going to try to find a way to... I'm going to try to find a way to sneak around to where the car is.
Okay.
Yeah. Going to...
So I would probably...
That's a 10 for me.
Oh no! Wait, it's going to be contested for all of you. It's
Oh,
going
I
to be...
see. I see.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
We'll get rid of
Yeah.
I'm gonna...
I would like to, if possible, use my self-defense
Yeah, of course.
skill.
I'm going to deal out cards.
Powerful skills already.
And
It's 2 each, right? Right.
so it's
Right,
like
Jim?
it's I think we each, if we want to use our the way I was doing it at least was we each get our skill card if we're using our skill to look at first, so that's the only card we have to remember, and then we throw that down if as a wild card, and then we get 2 each.
Okay.
And
You already pulled yours, Darcy?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got my 2s.
Does Erin need to play?
Yeah, she can. If you want to give her actions, then you can.
I don't think I'm going to give her actions.
It's up to you.
And then is anyone using a wild card? Just you, Jim?
Yeah, I will be using a wild card.
I mean, oh wait, I guess I'll be using a wild card as well, since I'll be using my skills.
Okay.
Okay, I'll deal you a card out, Darcy.
Okay.
Oh, thank you
This
very
is
much.
the wild card. And
And then I deal out a card for the bad guys, right?
yep. And you can break them up however you want in terms of like group. Well, yeah. I mean, you basically the way I did it is just basically when it comes to their turn, you just sort of can play. You can play. They can have They can
Do
have,
I do it
whatever
like
cards
real
they can.
blackjack, 1 up and 1 down?
No. These actually, it's like we when it comes to your turn, you can either turn a card over, or in other words, pull it out of your hand, or turn over your card, or you can ask for a card. So it's
Okay.
It's a little bit weirder.
So they are they're standing there outside of the door on the former hotel grounds, and they're yelling that they want the hermit. But you know that that it's not much of a threat to you, that they're just raising the alarm to where you are for the people who are chasing you. But you know where the car is, and in between you there's about 150 yards, including an empty swimming pool and a fence with a hole in it. So you've made it around to the back of the building. You've come out the back of the hotel.
Yeah.
You have to make it out to the front. This is a chase through the grounds. It's dark and the ground is littered with rubbish, some from inside the casino, so that empty husks of old slot machines, and some from elsewhere. The empty swimming pool has a car crashed into it. It looks like a Rolls Royce. There's also going to be the person chasing you. Okay. So, Serana, what are you, how did you do it, Jim? You have everyone declare their actions first?
Yeah, I basically asked each person. Yeah, the way that ideally I should have done it was ask everyone just sort of what they're trying to do, and then we play blackjack until someone hits a thing, or we
I think that's a lot
card,
easier.
That's when we start describing stuff.
Yeah. So what are your goals in this game? What are your goals in this combat, I guess? Is it just to get to the car, or are you wanting to hurt someone? Like, what are you wanting to do? Or is it just to escape and get to the car?
I guess we all want to run to the car, but I also kind of want to maybe trick the people outside who are looking for the hermit and say he's right behind us to the people that are chasing after us, and then we can like make a break for the car.
So you're wanting to lead the goons sort of away from you?
Yep.
Okay, what about you, Archie?
Yeah, I am trying to disperse them just by threat of violence of having a gun out.
Okay, and what about you, Stan?
I'm going to try to sneak around to where the if I can, to where the car is. Just sort of defensively, moving defensively as needed. Only doing crazy things like releasing the coyote if it becomes necessary.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So Serana, you're up first. What would you like? Would you like to play one of your cards, or would you like me to deal you one?
Would you please deal me a card?
I sure will.
that a 10?
Yep. Archie, what about you? What would you like me to do? Would you like me to deal you a card, or would you like to play one?
Deal me a card, please.
And Jim, if I'm doing this wrong, please stop me, because
Stop. Whoops.
there you go.
Oh no, take it, put it back.
So 8. And Stan, what would you like to do? Would you like to play a card, or would you like me to deal you one? I can't hear you.
I should unmute. That would help me. I feel as though, and I'm going to actually have to pick that card up again so that I remember what it is. Okay, good. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to play a card.
Okay.
Because strangely enough, not to throw wrenches at you immediately, but the card I'm going to play is the Hermit.
Ooh, that's Aaron's
Yes.
signifier. I don't have the list of what the signifiers do. Can I have that?
Sure. So any person's signifier card. Let me go ahead and I can put it in chat real quick. If I can pull this up here. See if that helps.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're supposed to have a flashback, right?
Yeah, but the interesting thing being though, it's that
It's your character.
it's for an NPC, so you don't have to necessarily immediately give her a. You don't have to tell us what she experiences necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But she basically gets to do whatever she wants. They succeed immediately at whatever they're doing, but it doesn't resolve the conflict. But she succeeds.
You will succeed, or Aaron will succeed.
I think Aaron will succeed. Aaron gets to interrupt and do whatever she wants, basically.
Okay. I think what we see happen is that Aaron was also sneaking alongside you, Stan, and has a flashback to a time when okay, yeah. She was she was inside of this person's house, and she was inside this house, and you see her in all black, and it's pitch black at night, and you see her going through drawers and dressers and taking jewelry and taking electronics, and you see her taking things that clearly don't belong to her. And I think that gives her the stealthy trait in this flashback. And I think that she's going to automatically succeed alongside Stan of like sneaking around, helping Stan sneak around this big car in the pool, because that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to lay low and not get caught in the middle of this fight and anything she was doing. And she's sort of helping Stan, and I think that's what her flashback sort of goes toward is sneaky stealthiness. If I can say the words right.
Cool.
She's sticking next to Stan.
Awesome.
Okay, so for the goons, Ace of Swords. So what is that, a 1?
So that's either 1 or 11.
11, okay. So what you see them do, they're rushing toward trying to get toward where they said the hermit was, trying to go around y'all, but it's like a big sort of crowd. It's these two crowding around y'all, not really caring where they're going. You can tell that they're sort of idiots, I guess, for lack of a better word. They're not smart. Yeah, they're goons. Yeah, they're not smart in what they're doing. And then you see That's a good card.
Damn.
Jumping from somewhere high up and on this car, you hear a crash and a roar, landing on the roof of this car in the pool. Broken glass and jagged steel goes everywhere. The frame is rigid, so through the thin roof, you see this man who, basically the shape of a triangle, his huge body, his legs are inside the car, his torso, arms, and head are outside, roaring, tearing the metal and ripping it apart, the body of the car, using his bare hands to free himself and doing a pretty good job at it. You see this man, this isn't the car at the pool, this is your car.
Oh, that's not good.
It's going through the thin roof. You see him grabbing the coyote and just flings it away.
Oh no.
Hey man, don't be mean to the coyote.
What did
that coyote ever do to you?
Right now.
So, Serana, what are you doing now?
I mean, Arkham screwed, but I wanted the goons that are like around the back. I kind of wanted that. I wanted to distract them with the people who are chasing us, so we wouldn't get caught in that little crossfire section. So I was gonna say, "You want the hermit? He's right there!" As the guys are running out, just to try and cause a little distraction for us to get away.
Mm-hmm. Archie, what are you doing? What are you wanting to do?
Well, looks like us trying to use our own car is a bit of a wash. So, no other cars nearby other than the destroyed one, is there?
Let's see. Hold on just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You do see a car. I'm pretty sure I read that. There's another car parked right in front, big and black, with nobody in it. It wasn't there before.
Okay. I find a tremendous irony in the fact that I may be stealing the car of the guy who just destroyed my car. But I'm gonna make a beeline for that car.
Okay. What about you, Stan? Strangely enough, I'm actually concerned about the coyote. Do I see where the coyote landed?
No, you don't see where it's landed. It was thrown way far.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this is very far. Okay. So yeah, I guess I'm probably following Archie, just trying to if he's going to try to leap into that other car and take it, then that's I mean we can give that a shot. Once again, I'm just trying to sort of just get out of sight of these of these people, picking up anything I can to use to defend myself on the way.
Okay, Serana, would you like to play a card, or would you like me to deal you a card?
Could you actually no, I'm gonna play a card.
Okay.
And his boy the 10 of Cups.
20. Archie, what about you?
Deal me a card.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. Temperance.
10.
So that puts me at 18.
Yeah, 18, yeah. What about you, Stan?
This is an excellent question. I think, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just... I'm just going to go ahead and play the card that I've got in my hand here. And so that's... that is a knight. So that's going to be 20.
Nice. Okay. Let's see what the goons do. a page. Is that a 10?
Yep. They've got 21.
I got a 21.
We are in trouble.
Yeah.
Isn't that just? Is it? So Ace is 11 or okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're not falling for what Serana said, and they're going to continue to rush toward you, Serana. They're trying to grab at you. They just want something. They're trying to grab you and carry you off, Serana.
I'm gonna kill them all with my rebar. They're gonna die tonight.
Oh, those are 2 great cards.
Oh, love that! Oh my god.
But
That's my signifier.
Is that
yeah, it is.
Is that a bust technically though?
nope, that's 20.
Is it 20? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they can count as whatever's on the card. It's 10 or what's on the card, basically.
Okay.
So yeah.
Can you give me what his signifier is, Jim?
It's death.
Yeah.
Okay, what it means. I don't have what the signifiers are.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it's the same thing.
The same thing. Okay.
Yeah, significant moments.
It's you dictate the flashback.
Because he gets a flashback. You get to give him a flashback, potentially involving whoever it was that the card was drawn for, possibly. But if it may not be possible if it's like a non-persona character. But yeah, he gets a flashback. Related somewhat to the situation, and then he gets to basically succeed at a thing that he's trying to do. But it looks like the bad guys are probably going to win this, though, since they've got 21 here. But yeah, or actually, no, I think we go to the next round. Actually, yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Crack some skulls.
So Archie gets a flashback.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of something that could be a good flashback for Archie. Oh, I'm so bad at flashbacks. Just a second. Archie, you are out on okay. Yeah, you are out on a you're out on a gun range. And you've been at this, it feels like you've been at this for hours and you're not able to hit a single mark. And someone is beside you telling you, listen, you'll get it. You've just got to put in the work. You've just got to practice. And you turn over and look and you're like, man, I just don't think this is for me. I just don't think I'm fit to be a marksman. And you've got a gun that's really, it's probably like near your size. It's way too big for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you turn and look at this man and he's huge. He's probably like 3 times your size. And he's like the size of his body shape is like triangle. You recognize him immediately. It's the same man that's fighting you now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't quite get his name, but he looks really familiar. The name doesn't come to you though. He says, here, just take this. And he hands you a smaller, more handgun size type of gun. And it fits more familiar in your hand. And you stand up straight and you right your shoulders and you right your neck and you go to fire. And finally you start hitting the target in front of you. And it finally feels right in your hands, and it feels like this is what you were meant to do. And I think you get the skill handguns.
Okay.
Ooh, we've got a sharp shooting, rootin' tootin' cowboy on our team.
All right.
Hmm.
And with the success due to my signifier, does that mean I get to the other car then and get into it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm in the car.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, when someone hits 21, it's basically can end the round. Everyone who can, with whatever cards they have, you stop dealing out cards, and everyone who has it at this point can, like, if they want, they can turn over more cards to try to make 21. But whoever has the best 21 gets a free description of basically a little bit of narration of what's going on, and then if necessary, we go to the next hand. But that's up to you.
Yeah, if anyone wants to. If Darcy, if you want to play the rest of your cards out, see if you can.
I'm gonna. I mean.
Ooh.
Well, that's worth 0 though.
Yeah.
Very good. And then I've just got my wild card really, but I guess I can. Whoop.
Oh, hey. Well, on the one hand, that would cause you to go bust if you play it, but on the other hand, that's my signifier.
Way the moon.
Which means that let's see, you played it, but yeah, that means that a flashback is that I would have a flashback, but that potentially involves Serana, and then I get to do a thing.
Yeah, it's up to you, Darcy, if you want to play it.
Yeah, I do.
What does it mean when someone goes bust, Jim?
When someone goes bust, let's see. If player goes bust their hand, then they are stymied. They can take no further active part in the action of this round and cannot win it. If all participants involved in the action are stymied, then the cards are collected. Another round of cards is dealt.
Okay, so just Serana's just out, which is the end of the round anyway.
Yeah.
I think what happens is the goons take Serana's rebar and knock her down.
Oh, come on.
So
man.
you watch as Serana falls. Stan, you see, and Archie in the rearview mirror, you see as Serana falls.
Some physical comedy.
And what happens, Stan, you get as you see Serana fall, you get a flashback to let's think. God, there's been a lot of flashbacks this session. You are, this isn't the first time you've seen Serana fall before. You remember a time when Serana was in the ring as a fighter, and fighting for bets, either rigged or not. Sometimes they were, sometimes they weren't. And you remember having to pull her out when she would go too far in her fights. And you remember having to sit her on the edge of the on the bench, and having to patch her up, and having to stitch up her wounds, and having to make sure that she was, not fighting with a concussion, even though she would always try to. And I think now you've also got sort of a medical skill as well.
Cool. All right. And so I think if I might be able to then, with my ability to intercede, I'd like to kind of just sort of dive forward and try to scoop her up and try to get around into the other side of the car.
Yeah, for sure. That can definitely be succeeded.
Diving in.
A real fire.
Yeah, you're on the car, and you know it's late. You're all feeling tired. Where are you heading to?
Oh gosh, the hell out of here is the first step. We don't have a coyote anymore.
You do know you can try to head back to the cornucopia, or head back to Nate's to get some shut-eye.
Gosh. Well, guys.
Here you go, you got another coyote.
I mean, do you guys want to give that another shot? We don't have any meat or anything anymore.
I think we should head back to Nate's and try and get some rest, and maybe you can disinfect this cut on my arm.
Yeah. Hey, out of curiosity.
I'm knocked out. Sorry.
Out of curiosity, just because we always ask, is there anything in the glove compartment of this car?
No, there's not.
Listen,
Okay.
you never know.
Hope springs eternal.
One can but hope.
We could maybe find the thing that the hermit has sent us out for. It could just simply be in a glove compartment somewhere. We don't know.
It's true.
But I think you're right. I think we head back to Nate's.
Trying to deal with the guy. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna kind of just sort of think for a second, and I think we both we dived into the back seat, so you're probably up in the front seat, and I'm just sort of turning her over. I'm like looking at her arm. I'm like, hey, I think I know how to do this, and so I'm going to try to. Well, we don't have much in the way of cloth, so I'm going to, I'm going to see if there's anything I can use anywhere. I'm just like, look and see if there's like anything up there that's like, there's probably not a first aid kit in here. Hell. I'm just going to tear off a section of somewhere from like the fabric on the inside of my vest. And I'm going to try to use it to help bandage up her arm.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Are y'all heading back to Nate's?
Yeah.
I think that'd probably be easiest right now for us to sort of figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, we may have bitten off a little more than we could chew.
Yeah, you can head back to Nate's, and you can go back to your. Are you heading back up to your rooms that you got from Nate?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we want to. I mean, in the morning, do we want to discuss this with her? No, I don't know.
I mean, this really isn't her problem, you know.
But you might be able to give us some advice.
Julie stops you at the door and reminds you that you don't work for Nate anymore. You work for the cornucopia and for O.
Yeah.
So, how much for a room?
She says it'll be 2 chips.
All right.
I've got 2 chips to spare. Let's do it.
I can spare that. I can spare that for a couple of rooms.
Yeah, she takes your money and lets you get a room upstairs.
Okay.
Says it'll include breakfast, so don't worry.
Nice.
The ever important brown food group.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, once we get upstairs, it's like, so what the hell do we do now? I mean, we didn't get Rebecca's stuff done, and if we tell her why we didn't get it done, that lets her in on things that I don't know if she needs to know.
Was there a specific deadline on when we had to have the coyote in the cement by?
Not that you remember, no.
Okay.
Listen, I'm sure we can get this done tomorrow morning. We get it done. We come back. nothing happened. We do not tell her about the hermit. We don't tell her about whatever weird shit tore up the car. We say we lost the car.
Okay. Okay.
This is great. This is wonderful.
I think as we're in the room and like I'm kind of looking over at my arm where it's been patched up, I kind of look back to where there's that indent on my finger where a ring should be, and I think I want to trigger a flashback with Listan.
Oh yes.
So I thank Stan for patching me up, and just as I thank him and I look up, I look at him, I kind of go into a look back at my hand, look at the ring, go into a flashback, and it looks like I'm on a rooftop somewhere, and I'm arguing with Stan, and I'm just we're just going at it, and then I pull the ring off my finger and push it into his hands, and I said, "I'm sorry, but I have to do this." And then I pull open the door, which is on the roof that we're standing on, and I walk in, and I have I have a knife with me, and it looks like I'm stalking some prey, because I go down these stairs, and as soon as a guy comes around the staircase, I just run in and I just and I think Serana's skill is there another way of saying of being a trained killer?
Assassin.
Or just excellent blade work. But I would say trained killer is my skill.
Oh, yikes.
And I guess that means that me and Stan were affiliated.
Wow. The thing that sucks, and so, is that Stan doesn't remember that. That's just that's your flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think as you all go to your rooms upstairs and you go to bed, that's where we'll have our next break.
Righto.
Huzzah.
All right. We shall return in but a few minutes. Stay tuned, folks. See you shortly.
in room 4115. She wants you there quickly.
Well, guess this steak and eggs gets a to-go bag then.
Maybe we should try it. Yeah, I knew we should have tried and grabbed another coyote last night. But you know what? In a way, I'm actually kind of glad because honestly, I did not want to put that thing in there. I did not want to put that creature in there.
Well, maybe you can talk to Miss O about that when we show up.
Listen, it's a coyote or it's a body by their standards.
Yeah.
I'm
just kind of worried she's going to
has significance.
Just kind of worried she's going to nominate one of us to take her place, or to take its place.
Not it.
Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you. I mean, any of you.
I want my spot lie ability on that. Fine, let's go to the car.
God, how many cars have you guys gone through in like
So many.
2 days?
So many. I think this is number 4 that we're on right now.
I think we're at number 4 car. Yeah.
Yeah, on the strip, the Swords Casino. It's got a towering Middle Eastern swordsman outside it. Looks like the Dunes Casino. It has an underground car park, and the guy in the booth waves you through like he recognizes the car.
Which is funny because we stole it, but okay.
Yeah.
Room 415 is on the 4th floor, and it turns out to be offices rather than hotel rooms. There's a receptionist, and there's plush leather chairs and copies of Vegas variety on coffee tables that are sitting outside. After a moment, the secretary calls you through to the office and offers you tea or coffee.
Coffee.
Please.
Tea, thanks.
She disappears outside of the room, and inside there's lots of black leather. And Rebecca O is sitting there, and she's putting down the phone. Well, she says, and she stops and looks at you. But she doesn't take her eyes off of any of you. Someone set the cat among the pigeons last night. Was it you?
No.
I'm not so sure I'm up on the lingo here. Who are the cats and who are the pigeons?
Apparently the people who put me in the concrete, or attempted to, are working for the Hermit. What do you know about that?
What? Who's the Hermit?
I mean, we didn't see. I mean, we did. They kind of. We kind of waited. We didn't really know too much about them at the time that we got you out, because they just turned, and we just kind of waited for them to turn and they got distracted by something. So I don't know. I mean, last we heard they were with. They had what, chariots on their. They had like chariots on their ties, right?
It's worth it. The guys that tried to bury you in concrete.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last we'd seen about any of those folks.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware. Kind of thought they were with chariots.
I ask you to do one simple thing and look what happens. And she leans forward and steeples her hands in front of her. How did the coyote job go?
Not done yet.
Yeah, so about that, yeah, it kind of we got one, but it turned out to be
the boot of one
a
of the
bit
cars.
more. Well, it was more resilient than we thought. We were gonna go try and scoop another one up this morning.
Tell her that. So pissed.
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Yeah, some triangle-bodied dude destroyed the car you lent us. I don't know who he was.
Bullneck. He's head of security at the Wands.
Hmm.
He should have realized he wasn't going to let you go as easily as that. Avoid him if you can, and I'll see if I can get him calmed down.
That was how the coyote got away.
Yeah.
Uh,
Crashed the car.
honestly, do we have to like kill an animal for this? Like, really? Because
I didn't say anything about killing. I just said burying.
I feel that may be a fine distinction at best.
well, without going into too much detail, because I know that it's not good to go into too much detail about these things. I feel it's the line between burying somebody and killing them isn't quite as thin here as it would be in other places, is it? Am I right to guess that?
She shrugs and leans back in her chair with her legs crossed. Like I said, didn't say anything about killing.
Okay.
Say,
So
That reminds me. That reminds me, your friend Nate. Have you heard from him lately?
we went by, we didn't see her. Actually, yeah.
Too bad. She didn't pay her dues this morning. It looks like she was taken. Like someone took her. So your work for now is to find out who.
Oh shit.
Someone took Nate. Fuck.
Nate's a nice gal, but she's not important. But if someone thinks she is, I want to know who. My guess, with the town in a flat spin like this right now, is someone's taken her to Harry Spicer's. See if you can get them to talk. Be nice. They're old. And the phone on her desk rings, and she picks it up without even putting it to her ear. And she looks at you. Says, "The girl will give you directions. Go."
We don't want to deal with this. I'm just gonna whisper to them.
Right. So, why don't we let Miss O here take care of whatever it is she's taking care of,
Yeah.
and we take a walk.
Yeah, good idea.
And on the way out, you said that the reception room, there was copies of the Vegas Variety there.
Mm-hmm. Do you stop to get directions from the receptionist?
Oh yeah, and I snatch up a copy of the paper.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she gives you directions. Head north past the White Tower, which is a second-tier casino, but it's a very visible one. And keep going until you pass the burnt-out strip joint on the right. It's the next building.
Thanks. I'm gonna hand Serrana the paper and say, see if there's any of these crazy comic strips like we saw before in there.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a good old flick through, scanning over any articles and such. Do I see a comic in there?
Nope, you don't.
No, strange. None of these weird comics in here today.
As we're wandering through the offices, just because I'm a fan of the spirit of the escalator, I just sort of am glancing around. Do any of these offices have photocopiers in them?
Yeah, you can find a photocopier.
I'm like, oh well, there it is. I just sort of say, looking at it.
Archie just kind of stares at it as we go by.
Like,
Yeah. So, as you're heading to Harry Spicer's, the route's clear, but nobody said the destination is out of town, past where the desert is divided into subdivisions for future construction, to where the tarmac is cracked and sandy. The charred shell of a building is obvious on the side of the road, and the cracked neon of a sign is there. And a few hundred yards beyond that, what looks like a covered stockyard or an abattoir built of cinder blocks with wood sidings, but it doesn't smell like it or sound like it. There's no identifying name on the outside of the building, just an entrance large enough to drive a truck through. A youth of indeterminate gender lounges in a path of shade next to a payphone near the entrance, smoking. Inside, someone is screaming. It's sustained screaming of considerable volume.
Well, that's fun.
We keep forgetting to ask for weapons.
Still got my pistol.
Inside, you notice that inside the car you're driving, Bullneck's car, you begin to hear a slight knocking and rocking in the trunk.
Wait a minute.
Thump, thump, thump.
Hey, pull over. Let me look in the trunk.
Yeah,
Does everyone keep a coyote in their trunk in this town? Actually, no, it's you're driving. What am I thinking?
Is a coyote gonna knock? Let's just pull over.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to the trunk and just pop it open. And what do I see in there?
A familiar face. It's Bob.
Is he Is he wearing the dog muzzle?
He is not wearing the dog muzzle. His hands are bound. His hands and feet are bound, and he's gagged. He's bloody around the forehead. He seems he's been using his head to bang for attention, and has knocked himself into a stupor. He's barely conscious. He's speaking, but he's making no sense. He's lost a lot of blood, and it looks like he's probably going to die soon.
Stan, you might want to take a look at this.
Wait, what? I come back around. I'm like, didn't we? Oh hell! I'm going to start checking him out.
What are the words he's saying? What can I make out?
You can't make out anything. It's mumbling. He's just like in a stupor.
Damn it! If I give him a quick scan in the pockets and such, is there anything of note on him?
No, there's nothing of note on him. It looks like you're not, even if Stan does help him out, you're probably not going to get anything from him for a while. It looks like what Stan can do, all that Stan can do is just sort of keep him alive for right now.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's going to be a skill roll, but it's going to be not too hard, a 6.
All right, give it a shot here. And hit. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Oh well.
Yeah. We'll just say for right now, Bob is. You're doing your best, Stan, but Bob is just not looking good.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, he's losing too much blood.
I'm gonna turn to.
He's not gonna make. I don't think he's gonna make it.
I think I should just put him out of his misery.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't have long. I mean, if we might be able to get him help.
We can see what happens to bodies now.
What? I mean, is there like a hospital or something in this place?
Did you forget? Hospitals require someone to be, alive to help them.
This again. I mean, I'm just, yeah, but, casinos apparently do too, right?
Archie kind of calls back from the front seat. What's going on back there?
Hey, Archie, Bob's back here and he's not in a good way.
He's hopped trunks.
Since he's just there, I'm gonna reach for his head because I'm just gonna snap his neck. And I'm just going to be like, the hermit sends his regards.
What? What are you...
Well, the hermit did say to say hello to him.
Oh my god. I'm going to try to...
There's nothing we can do to save him. The best we can do is put him out of his misery now.
Can we not even freaking look for... Can we not even freaking look for help for him before we... do this to him?
If you can't even stop the bleeding or anything, but he doesn't have long left, I don't think there's anything we can do.
Yeah, but we can try. If there's, and I'm just There was a map in the glove compartment, right?
Yeah.
I guess we took that map as well.
Is there anything that looks remotely like a hospital?
There wasn't
on
a
the
map in this glove compartment. This is Bullneck's car.
Oh, that's right. This is the other one. God damn. Ah!
We took the map from the last time.
Have we, since we've been in the city, have we seen anything with like a cross on it, Red Cross or anything like that?
No.
Might be like a hospital? No, probably not.
Mm.
All right. I'm just like, great.
What happens to his body?
Nothing as of yet.
Okay, what if I close the trunk and open it again?
Oh God.
His body's still there.
This is something fun and fresh.
He's not dead yet. I mean, he's just in a bad way.
I guess let's move him to the back seat of the car.
Well,
So
wait
he's
a
not...
minute. So you just to be clear, you have snapped his neck at this point?
No, I haven't.
You haven't. Okay. All right. That was what I was trying to figure out.
I won't do it unless the team agrees it's the right thing to do.
Okay. It's like, all right. We'll like. And they're like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Jeez. This
Once
guy.
they're back in the car, Archie kind of looks around and goes, Stan, help the dude out.
I've done all I can for right now. I don't think he's got long. But best we can do is just make him comfortable for right now. And I don't know if I haven't seen any hospitals or anything like that around here. I don't know what we're going to be able to do about it. Also, someone's screaming.
Yeah, and you're noticing it's a feminine voice.
Archie, drive towards that screaming.
Yeah, driving into the abattoir, I guess. This should be fun.
Yeah, are you getting out of the car?
Before I do, I want to turn around and look at Bob and say, Bob, what can you tell us about the book?
Bob is unresponsive.
Right. Well, I guess we don't have much of a choice, do we? Just leave him here as comfortable as you can get him, and then we'll go inside.
Yeah. Okay.
Inside, it's basically an abattoir. It's an underused one. It's cool without being cold. Lights hang from the ceiling. Two or three things that look like corner slabs, only made of white marble, carved to drain blood away. Gleaming tools swing from overhead racks, and winches and hooks too. Hoses for washing things down. The floor is grooved concrete with drainage channels. There's a small office off to the back with a door closed and windows that would look out over the work floor if the blinds weren't closed, but they are. And one of the slabs is occupied. It's Nate and her internal organs. The organs are still attached to her, but they're on the outside of the body, not the inside. And that's not a pleasant look. She's still alive because obviously if she was killed, she'd become a casino chip. She's screaming a great deal, bleeding quite a bit too, but not necessarily enough to have her bleed out, at least not quickly.
Jesus, man, help her.
Is there any way to way to lower her down to get her safely off?
She's not hung up. She's on one of the slabs.
Oh, the slabs.
Nice.
Okay.
And I'm not a surgeon, but I'll go over and see if there's anything that I can do.
As you're running over to her, there's movement in the office and the door opens. You see Bullneck and two of his crew.
Oh.
Bullneck steps out, and the moment he sees you, he draws his gun and shouts, "Stay where you are," and fires 3 rounds over your heads.
Archie, shoot! I said Archie, shoot him. What the fuck?
Archie's gonna shoot him.
Yeah, that's gonna be a skill. It's gonna be a 9.
Okay.
Come on, my sharpshooter. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's live in hope here.
3, 2. Zeus.
Boom.
Nice.
Got him.
Blessed.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna shoot him. It's gonna hit him right in the shoulder. I mean, he's a huge guy.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's not gonna take him down, but he's going to stumble back. And as you shoot him, there's a squeal of a skid from outside. Something large hits something else, and then there are confused shouts, and someone starts returning fire in semi-auto 3-round bursts. There are 3 people outside shooting in, 2 with automatics and 1 with the M16.
Let's get ourselves out of the crossfire, shall we?
What about Nate?
I mean,
Well, we can't move her. And just basically, I mean, because if her organs are on the outside, it's not going to be safe to move her. But yeah, basically, leap up, just grab whatever tool is hanging over my head and hunker down, just sort of dive for cover.
yeah, I guess it's time to just try to be undercover and try
And
to.
you remember there's an office in the back that you can try to get to.
Okay.
Is Nate's conscious, right?
She is conscious.
And screaming.
Is there any sharp objects on that slab of paper, like any?
There's hooks and such, yes. And
I
like,
guess I'll wield myself with a hook as well, but I really don't want to leave her like this on the table.
I think Stan, you can tell that Nate also doesn't have much left of her.
Yeah.
She's bleeding out. It's not quick bleeding out, but she is bleeding out.
I'm gonna stab her in the
she's
head.
not gonna make
I'm
it.
gonna put her out of her misery.
Okay.
You're really just itching to kill people, aren't you?
I'm a saint. All I want to do is take people's pain away.
Wow.
But I'm gonna, before we run, I'm gonna put Nate out of her misery.
Okay, where are you running to?
I guess that back office.
Okay. While all this gunfire's happened, yeah, you can put Nate after. Yeah, and right after you're sprayed with, as you put Nate out of their misery, you're sprayed with this blood and gore from Nate as you all run into the back office.
You got a little, like, right there and all down here.
As you run into the back office, you notice 2 people back in here hunkered down. There's an older one, very old, wizened like a sun-dried tomato with long silver hair. I'm just reading. The other one is younger, also female, with she looks a lot younger, and she says, "We are the Haraspices."
Oh.
And they both look quite scared.
Okay. Yeah. This is... That makes more sense now. You learn anything interesting recently?
She says they work for everyone who can pay, and they ask no questions, and they do keep records. She says this is supposed to be, and you notice the young one is the one who's talking. So this is supposed to be a neutral zone, off limits, no confrontations, like all sacred places. So what's happening here is very bad. And you look around Archie, you notice that the office isn't large, but it's very tidy. Drawers contain knickknacks, like souvenirs of major casinos. The table is covered with Polaroids of someone's liver. Circles and arrows drawn over it. There is a Polaroid camera here. the young one opens a drawer. You notice there's a lot of knives in here. Some are balanced for throwing. One opens another. The other one opens a drawer to pull out a false bottom to reveal a short bow and 6 arrows. You hear more vehicle noises from outside with shouting and then more gunfire. Someone clearly brought a shotgun or 2 to the party.
I'm gonna grab one of the a big nice points blade, from one of the drawers, and I'm gonna turn to the younger one and ask him, is there must be another way out?
They do not. They look at the door. That's all. That's the only way in and out.
Look,
So you're telling me you don't have any safety countermeasures in case this kind of thing happens?
They shake their head, and the young one says, "This is a safe zone. This should not be happening."
Great.
Look, do you need help getting out of here?
They nod.
Great.
Gonna have to get him out of here.
Do we have? Does this room have any windows?
It just has that one window that points out to the floor.
Oh, it's an internal window?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna actually grab the camera also and just tuck it away somewhere and just sling it over my shoulder if there's a strap on it.
Why is Nate here? I'm gonna ask why Nate is here.
They're using her innards to predict the future.
Hey Nate, man.
That's what you do?
That's what her auspices do.
Yeah, I thought you used small animals, not people.
You notice that it seems to get brighter in the main room, like sunlight is suddenly streaming through a gap in the clouds, and brighter and hotter.
Oh boy, we need to get out of here now.
Right.
Now.
I'm gonna grab one of the knives because it's basically what we have knives. That's basically it, right? So I've got a hook. I've got like a hook and a knife, and I'll be like, okay. I'm gonna go up to the door. I'm gonna go next to it and slowly, just pull it. Does it open inward or outward?
What does now? The door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It opens inward.
Inward. Okay. So I'm just going to come sort of to the side of it, crouched down, and slowly just open it just the tiniest cracks to see if I can see what's going on out there.
You see a figure, someone made of light, walking in through the open truck-sized doors and toward the center of the concrete floor.
There's a hell of a distraction right now. I think perhaps it would be a good time.
You see bodies on the floor, Bullneck and his crew, and the other ones on the floor dead.
Right. I'm gonna go distract Bright Boy. You guys take the women and run.
Archie, what are you talking? We have to run together.
I've got a gun. I shoot him. I get his attention. You get around him. I will run later.
All right.
Good luck. Can we have the keys, by the way?
Right. Yeah. That might help.
Are you still looking at the figure, Stan?
I looked away when Archie started talking.
Okay.
So I'm stepping out the door, and is the figure still there?
Yeah, you see it's a tall figure with no distinguishing features, on fire. It's blazing. It's very elegant, very poised. It walks around the 3 marble slabs, and then it steps around a corner, and then it isn't there, and then it's gone, Archie.
Well, that makes things easier. Guys, we can just go, it looks like.
Start bolting out of the room as though it's like, oh.
There's a trail of glowing footprints across the floor, marking where the burning man stepped, but they begin to fade away after a few minutes.
The hell?
Bullneck and his crew are dead, and their bodies are on fire, as are their guns. And you notice that Nate's body is gone, and in its place are 154 chips.
Well.
Sorry about this, Nate, but I feel as though it's what she would have wanted.
Yep. 100 and how many?
154. In-chips?
150
Oh, my God.
I look back towards the women and I say, look like danger is past. Do you want to still go or do you want to stay here?
The older one is incoherent with fear. She's shaking and she's shocked and she doesn't respond to questions, but the younger one is comforting her and she says, "This is bad. This is worse than we saw. It's going to get much worse." She encourages you to leave. She says, "You need to leave now."
We gotta get you out of here. Yeah, we should probably
do
still
you
get
need
them
to
out
go
of here.
somewhere else?
She shakes her head. She says, "Really, you need to leave now."
Do you want a lift?
She shakes her head.
What
Okay.
can you tell us that will help us once we get out of here?
We don't know. That we've only seen entrails like this once before, and that was before the silver cloud fell. Change is coming. The world turned upside down. A lot was unclear. We're going to do a second reading later when the humors have settled.
Okay.
Not it. I just sort of
Got
turn
it.
and I'm going to
I'm
toss
just-
the keys.
Can I just I'm gonna write in notes. What was that figure? Who was that?
A Picadon. We've never seen such glory before.
What did you say? Picadon?
A Picadon. We don't know what it is. Nobody does. Some kind of representative from another place.
All right, well, just because I have the ability to calm people down, before we go, I'm just gonna try to comfort them a little bit so they're not so freaked out, but then afterwards leave.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do a skill check for that. It's really not going to work much for the older one. She's so incoherent, but you can sort of help the younger one sort of calm down a little bit.
Okay.
You see the goons outside the building are also dead and on fire. 3 cars are here. One is racketed with bullet holes and also on fire. You left Bob inside your car. He's also dead and he only yielded 2 chips.
Aww.
Poor Don. Poor Bob.
Poor Bob.
Tell you.
Poor Bob.
Yeah. What are you doing now?
Well, guys, how do you feel about going to get another coyote? Because we should try to do something that isn't totally up at this moment.
Yeah, if you'd asked me last night, then I'd have thought that it would have been
Wait,
a terrible thing, but
Can we just
compared
take one
to
of
this.
the bodies and bury those instead?
She asked specifically for a coyote.
yeah, I feel like maybe it's not actually gonna die.
What
I'm
do you
not sure
mean?
if that's better or worse.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, I guess let's do it. I mean,
Yeah.
wait, hang on. There must be some kind of liquid here that we can borrow that can knock something out. Maybe like some sort of
Anesthetic?
Yeah, anesthetic or.
I don't know.
I don't feel like they worry much about keeping about knocking their victims out.
I mean, we can always ask.
If they've sort of wander back in, hey, have you got any chloroform? Oh, God. Really? Is that what you want to do? Walk in and ask if they've got chloroform?
Okay, fine. That might not be the best idea.
Is this the best?
Let's head back to. I guess it's not Nate's anymore. Julie's.
Are there any other?
Yeah, we should at least tell her that Nate's not coming back.
Were there? Should we hop cars again? Are there more cars here?
Are there better cars? Can we upgrade?
Yeah, there's no other car. The other ones outside were all on fire.
Okay,
Oh.
well, I guess we'll
I
stay
feel-
with Bullneck's car then.
I feel that driving a car that's on fire, while flashy, probably not in our best interest.
Yeah, I mean, Bullneck's not using this car anymore, so.
He's not gonna be using any car anytime
He
soon.
destroyed ours. I feel perfectly fine taking his.
Fair.
Yeah, where are you heading back to Nate's place?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to let.
Just to give the briefing, and then we're gonna
need to
go
let Julie
try to
know.
find another coyote. I think.
Yeah, the minute you walk in, Julie says, Miss O called about you again. She's waiting for you one more time.
Really? We need to tell you. Listen, we need to tell you something.
Listen, we ain't got time for her bullshit, okay?
You're better at this than I am.
There's
I'm just
not
getting dark.
coming back. Just blurts out, Nate's not coming back. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, the person who owns this place, Nate, you know, kind of.
Well, there are.
Said she was better about this.
I was
I'm sure there are
pointing at you.
Oh,
I'm sure there are contingencies in place. I'm just here to give you a message, and it's that Miss O is waiting for you. Room 415.
Okay.
Listen, can we look in Nate's office real quick?
What?
Yeah, sure.
yeah, she has weapons.
She gives you a key.
I'm gonna take a looky in Nate's office because I remember where the weapons are. So there's some pistols, I believe, and then
There were no pistols.
Oh, there are no guns anymore. So there's just some knives. And
Yeah,
a
there were
baseball
no
bat.
pistols in that drawer. There were just regular weapons. I don't know what's there now, but I can tell you that at that
Yeah.
time
So what
were
is
no
there?
there were pistols.
What is left?
There were
There were like knuckle dusters and a couple of baseball bats. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a couple of knives. Yeah, it was like 2 knives, 2 baseball bats, two brass knuckles.
yeah, that's what was there.
I'm gonna take those my beloved knuckle dusters. Since Nate's not gonna be using them anytime soon.
Yeah. You also see laid out on her desk a tarot, a few tarot cards. You see the Hermit, the Wheel. You see it's a standard Rider-Waite tarot deck, a full deck, but that's all.
Hey guys, look at these funny cards.
You've never seen a tarot deck before?
No, I haven't seen a tarot deck before.
You obviously led a very virtuous and sheltered life.
I'm just gonna like think back to that flashback and go, yeah. Virtuous, very good. Yeah.
Archie just kind of he sweeps up the deck and hands it over to Aaron and says, "You seem to be good with cards."
She takes it and she puts it in her back pocket, sort of nodding.
It's
So,
like,
anything else in Nate's desk or in her shelves or anything?
No. Not out of the ordinary, no.
All right. Before we go see Miso, let's get a coyote quickly. I don't think she'd take too kindly if we came back again with another failure.
yeah, but she
I
said
mean, we
she
didn't
wants to
fail.
see
She
us
just
right
wanted to know.
away.
I mean, we didn't fail. She just wanted to know what was happening.
Yeah, and we can tell her what happened to Nate. That was something she wanted to know.
I'm gonna grab.
Yes, no.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of the baseball bats.
Just in case. She's
in
got a
case.
temper.
So I guess over to the cornucopia.
Over to the swords.
Swords.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's right. Yeah, her office is in the swords. Yeah.
Swords.
Yeah, when you get there, you go up to the 4th floor where the offices are, and the receptionist makes you wait for a long time. And no offer of tea or coffee this time.
Definite power
Look, I
move.
told you
This
she's
is-
pissed at us.
This is time that could have been spent catching another coyote.
I fucking told you.
Through the closed office door, you can hear O shouting into the phone, though it's not clear who she's saying or what she's saying or who she's saying it to. It's a very long phone call and a very long wait, but eventually you're shown in, and O stares across her desk at you, and she's got a cocked eyebrow. Clearly, she's annoyed. One question. Were you in any way responsible for the deaths at the Haraspices? I can never say this word, y'all. I'm so sorry. See, I still can't say it. Haraspices.
No and no.
No.
Who was responsible?
Whoever was responsible for the bomb in the desert. Not that you want to tell us anything, obviously. Serrana's real time losing her temper out here.
The Picadon.
This figure, have you seen it before?
Yes, it's been following us.
Sort of, yeah.
We saw it. We saw it once before, at least.
Twice.
Well, I don't know if that was the same one.
We'll make it 3 times now.
It could be 3 times, but the first time we saw it was just a silhouette, right? And then this time, more recently, we saw it out in the suburbs. We saw this bright white person on fire thing, and then we just saw it again a little bit ago when we were over at the Haraspices.
Well then. Her phone rings and she answers it. Well, it looks like the town's turned upside down thanks to you and your shiny friend. And this crisis presents us with something that could be dangerous or could be. You know, there's a saying about the Chinese word for crisis. It's made up of 2 other words, danger and gullible.
That's us.
If Nate hadn't recommended you, then I'd send you straight back out that door and there'd be guys with machetes on the other side. But still, there's an opportunity here. The Wands are down a bunch of guys today, and it's their tithe run tonight, so they're calling in favors. I want you to go over there and help them out. Most likely it'll be a babysitting job, but there's rumors someone's going to hit one of the casinos hard, so you never know. And you might learn something. All 5 major casinos demand tribute, dues, call it what you want, from the smaller casinos and businesses that shelter under their protection. Once a week it gets paid, 10% of the take in cash, brought to the heart of the empire and checked. Obviously, this makes a tempting target for anyone who's going to get their million or die trying, and so it's done with heavy security. Some casinos use armored cars and bunkers, but the Wands prefer to have their couriers bring the cash in through the front door and across the gambling floor. It's all about the visibility. Have the tourists see the money pouring in so they know there's riches there. It's a prosperous place. Money breeds money, success breeds success. But since most of the Wand's regular security detail was recently killed and set on fire by a thing from another dimension, they need some extra bodies to make up the numbers. This is where the persona come in. You. She goes to the window and adjusts the blinds, and you notice the sun is setting. You better get going.
You know, if we do this right quick, it does mean that we're down in a coyote again. I just want to make that clear. If we're following your orders, we're not going to be able to follow your other orders.
She turns and looks at you and she says, "You're following my orders, right?"
I am. I just want you to know that the other orders have to be put on a back burner because of it.
Well, as long as you're following my orders, you better get going. You need to go find someone named Romanov. She was Bullneck's number 2, and she'll be running the show now.
All right.
Okay.
As we walk out, I'm just gonna mutter under my breath that I should have left her to drown in cement.
Oh God. He shakes his head. On the way out, stops and stares at the photocopier again. And keeps going.
Archie just pats Stan on the shoulder and is like, Nothing we can do about that now. And hey, look, we don't have to kill a coyote now.
Yeah, that's good. That I was. At least we don't have to worry about that right now. But
You think those coyotes look really weird, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were not.
They aren't really coyotes.
They weren't normal coyotes.
They looked like. Nah, they. Okay, was it just me or did they look like hellhounds? They look like hellhounds, right?
I don't know, I've never seen a hellhound, but it rings true enough.
So the Wands is based on the old strip casino, the New Frontier. It's got basic brutal architecture, but the neon is more garish. The appeal is more blatant. The sense of permission to transgress is more palpable. And by the time you arrive, night is falling. Wide steps lead up to a series of glass doors that open into an air-conditioned lobby leading to the main casino floor. Romanov is easy to find. She's standing just inside the entrance. Local, short, works out, wearing a man's black suit. Not a trouser suit, a suit tailored to a male build, and she makes it look good. She's clipped, all business, the edge of stress showing under the mask. She looks at you, gives you all a nod. Your job is to watch the couriers coming in through the door, and at any sign of trouble, you're to subdue and restrain, not kill, the troublemaker. The couriers will be heading into the casino a little way in. Beyond the first rank of slots and blackjack tables, is a door upholstered in red, studded leather, like a Chesterfield sofa. A brass sign reads "Employees only." This is where you'll go. Once you're through the door, they're not your concern anymore. She looks at you again and says, "There are other guards, but it's best if you don't know who they are. Goons from the other houses. It should be fine. If things go south, you'll know who's on which side." She stations you at 2 low-stakes poker tables and gives you each a handful of chips worth $500 or $500. Lose that slowly. Don't be obvious.
Gotcha.
Your backs are to the entrance, but there's a mirror behind the dealer so you can watch the doors. Tables are just too far away from you to be able to communicate with each other. If you shout a uniformed security person, there are 2 close to the entrance. Come over and ask you to keep it down.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to be separated then, it looks like.
Oh, boy.
Serena, don't kill anybody.
Yeah, I heard,
Right, time to start losing at poker.
Well, if one thing I'm sure I'm probably good at, it's losing at poker. Or whatever table I'm getting stationed at.
I guess I could play some blackjack.
Yeah.
Call.
So I'll go ahead and start. And I'm gonna. Oh, that's right. Is this one of those casinos where they will ply you with drinks to keep you in there, or is this? Or
yeah, I think you can get some drinks. About an hour and a half. I think Romanov walks up to you, Stan. You've got a drink in your hand, and she says, "Almost done. Just 2 more couriers to come in, and they're running late. But once they're here, you can go. Give my regards to Rebecca. Keep anything that you've won as your fee for the job."
Oh, great.
And she walks away. If anyone watches her go, you'll see her exchange a nod with a man on the slots, and then with other people that's dotted around the pathway to the red door.
Not having realized that that she's now having just been given permission to win.
Yeah, Archie's down to like almost nothing at this point.
I've been losing, but then I just sort of look over. I try to figure out significantly to see if I can see Erin from here, and if I can see her reaction when Romanov let's make sure that tells her that she's allowed to win.
Yeah, I think Erin is probably having a bad time losing, but when she gets the notice that she can win, her eyes get very wide, and she starts like going as hog wild as she can.
Nice.
Oh man, I hope that's not going to be a problem later. Okay.
You notice that 2 locals in dark suits enter through the front doors. One carries one briefcase, one carries two, and they seem to be heavy cases.
Covered in hair. Do these look at all unusual, out of the ordinary type?
They don't look unusual at the moment. Two tourists break from where they were standing at the concierge desk and rugby tackle the one with the two cases. They're trying to pull the cases away. The cases are handcuffed to the courier's wrist, but that isn't stopping them, as they have an axe.
I'm gonna run towards with the brass knuckle dusters, and I'm just gonna
Yeah, you're a part of 6 people apart from you who are storming across the casino floor to subdue the attackers. It's going to be we'll say a 6 for you trying to subdue this attacker.
I guess I can move faster than a lot of them. I can jump over tables and clear obstacles a lot quicker.
Yeah, we'll say that's a skill. Yeah.
Let's see with this bad boy. If this card lets me down, I'll cry. Would you please not let me down? Thank you very much. Oh no.
Oh no.
I've been let down yet again.
Yeah, you're not able to get, or you're able to get to him, but there's 6 people also, and so you lose sight of who it is, like who the actual tourist is who's trying to, grab the case away from the guy with the courier. You lose sight of who the actual attacker is.
Okay.
In the melee, one of the cases breaks open and chips begin to go flying, and a small mob of random tourists are rushing in trying to grab loot. It's absolute chaos at this point.
Wait, the red door is where he was heading, right?
Yes.
Okay, eyes on the red door. Has anyone tried to run into that red door?
Not yet.
Yeah, actually, Archie places himself in front of the red door.
Okay.
Just stands there waiting.
So the second courier, the one with the one suitcase, has bolted across the casino floor and is waiting for a second at the red door, looks at you, and is
just usher him in. Yeah,
she's passing through. So someone else is moving incredibly fast from the bank of slots, and is trying to grab the door before it can close and slip through. Are you going to try to stop them?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be, because you were watching, it's just going to be a 4.
Okay. Get me a card here.
Yeah, you were right there watching.
Hopefully I will not be betrayed. And the card is the Hierophant.
Yeah, you're able to stop them.
Great.
Slam his hand in the door. Grab his arm in the door.
I just smash him to the floor and lay on top of him.
Yeah, for sure. You're able to stop them.
Awesome. I've been in the meantime trying to get in between the courier and the person with the axe, if at all possible, and just sort of in a defensive posture, with I kind of had the baseball bat at my side. I was sort of trying to. Yeah,
that's just going to. It's going to be a 5.
Okay, I'm using my self-defense skill.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, and hit.
Yeah.
9.
What does that look like? Are you knocking them in the head or something?
Yeah, basically I catch the axe and I'm and I turn the bat and I'm I come around with it and then knock them back.
Yeah, you knock them out, and people are still trying to get up these chips, and you notice, Stan, that none of the chips are higher than a 20. And Romanov comes over to you, Archie, beside the red door, and leans in and says, "You and your friends need to sort out the situation behind the red door."
Okay.
I guess Archie kind of whistles.
I'll handle this out here on the floor.
Okay. Archie kind of gets up and tries to like get the attention of Serana and Stan, and just sort of points towards the door.
Sort of stand up,
crack the
turn the bat down, start running toward the door.
Yeah, you head down this staircase. It's a counting room about the size of O's office. Tables are laid out with piles of chips in different denominations. They're all low. Scales on each table with piles of empty bags. And at the far side of the room is a green door, and beside it the start of a conveyor belt fills the room with a low hum. There's a body just inside the room, a crossbow bolt protruding from an eye socket. The fact that it's still here indicates that it's a local. In the middle of the room, the speedy figure from upstairs, cross that.
Okay.
You see someone. Oh, sorry, I've messed up.
Oh, no worries.
It's all right.
Middle of the room. Oh.
Stop the guy from running into the room.
You stopped the guy from running into the room, yeah.
But so the person who was carrying the briefcase, that they've been shot in the eye with a crossbow bolt.
No, they haven't.
Okay.
Very good, sir. We've saved another life.
Indeed.
Yeah. And let us know if we need to take a minute and
No, I'm just it gets confusing at certain parts. So
it does, doesn't it?
Yes, it's very confusing at certain parts.
Yeah. Now you understand my pain when I was flipping back and forth the last couple of times. No, that's no worries. No worries. Absolutely, take your time.
Yeah.
I shall play us a soothing tune in the meantime.
That was very soothing of you.
Okay, we'll back up just a minute again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I don't know how to do this. Okay, so you let the you're coming down here. This is just a you've let the courier go down here, and you come down here and there is a man standing down here with a there's a man down here with a security guard standing in a Mexican standoff 6 feet apart, one with a gun, the other with a small but intense pistol grip crossbow. One of the man yells at the guard, "Open the door," and the guard says, "I don't have the keys," and the man yells, "Well, then get me $3 million."
Guy.
Have they seen us entering?
Yeah, they've seen you. And the guard yells, "There's only low chips here. $3 million. You're looking at 3/4 of a ton of clay." The man yells, "Get me $3 million or I'll kill you." The guard says, "Man, if you think my life is worth $3 million, I'm flattered, but you're alone."
Archie kind of raises his hand and says, "Yeah, son, I understand. I know what you think you're doing here, but there's people upstairs who are willing to kill you when you try to leave. I think your best option right now is to drop the crossbow and just walk away. And I am willing to try to calm people down with my ability."
Yeah, I think it's only going to be a 4.
Okay. Let us hope.
Uses his smooth voice and suave to calm him down.
Indeed. I use my buttery man voice.
Buttery man voice is
Oh yeah.
name for a band.
Yes, it is.
Yes. That's
He looks at you and he doesn't lower the crossbow, but he looks he doesn't look like he's going to fire, and you can see that that's a good thing because he had his finger on the trigger, and it's a crossbow. It was already pulled back and ready to fire. And you hear commotion on the stairs behind you, and Romanov comes down, 3 other people behind her, and she says, "We'll take him from here." And she strong arms her way past you, and she gets cuffs on him, and she looks at the guard and she says, my office, 5 minutes. And then looks at the group of you. She says, "Good work. Here's 200 each, not to tell anyone how phony the tithe run is. It's all for show. The rubes like it. It brings in good business. But tonight of all nights, what a mess. The whole town's crazy and the boss is coming in later." And she gives you the money.
Oh.
She says, "I like you all. You've got initiative. Keep an ear to the ground. See if you can find out anything about what just happened. Anything you hear or see, here's my card." And she gives it to one of you.
I will take that.
Pleasure working with you, miss.
And the security guard, he brushes himself down. He rubs a hand over his face. He puts his cap back on. He says, "Thank you. Check your trunk." You don't recognize his face, but his name badge reads Patrick Dennis.
oh boy.
The 2 people who came down with Romanov, they begin to tidy up. You should leave now," one of them says without looking up.
Of course.
I think
Leaving now.
We,
I think quietly as we are
towards our car.
as we are heading out, I'm just going to say, and this is again sort of under my breath, sort of to Archie and Serana and Aaron, I'm like, I swear, if we open the trunk and Bob's in there again, I'm gonna lose it.
See, I was thinking there's going to be a coyote in there. Serena, what do you think?
Ooh. My chip is on Bob.
I'd be happier with the coyote at this point.
Hey, maybe
I
your
guess we
wishes
had
come true. I'm gonna pat on Stan's back and just go, maybe your wishes come true. Maybe it'll be a photocopier.
I mean, look, it was funny the first couple of times. Ah, jeez. And
So,
we're heading out to the car.
I mean, Romanov seemed all right, I mean, fair day's work, fair day's pay.
Yeah, that actually was surprisingly.
Honestly, I'd rather work for her than work for fucking Miss O.
Yeah. Seems to treat her employees pretty well.
That was surprisingly civil.
Yeah.
But still,
Right. Let's check the trunk.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
You go out to your car.
Drive to somewhere where there's not really people around. Then maybe take.
Oh
a look,
yeah.
just in case.
Yeah. Go somewhere a little more deserted.
If you try to drive out of the casino, the attendant won't raise the barrier. They say strip's closed. The bosses are coming in. You can get out once the motorcade's gone, or you can go out and see the show.
Oh, great.
Well.
Yes, we can pull up to just a little parking area, just like maybe so the boot is like, the trunk is facing.
You could move your car in the underground lot, like so no one could see it.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
That's like maneuver into just a little corner.
Yeah. As you open the trunk, you see a number of pressed black suits and shirts, the sort that locals wear, specifically those who work for casinos, one each and well fitted. And you also see handguns. They're non-functional right now, and shoulder holsters and sunglasses, plus a note written on a bar napkin from the Silver Cloud. Your destination will be in hand shortly.
Okay.
I mean,
we can look badass now.
Are they all trouser suits?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, nice. I guess since I'd be taller than Erin, but smaller than the guys, so I'd just grab a medium.
All right, I guess this is it. and just grab the suit and I guess we'll take turns changing in the car or whatever.
As you get dressed,
Serana has no shame. We've literally been naked around each other, running around Vegas.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
but
pull
yeah,
off and then just pull the new
that's
clothes
true.
on.
And actually, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So
You ain't got no shame.
as you get dressed, once you're dressed, you walk out onto the strip. You're in the vicinity of the wands. There's a red carpet that wasn't here earlier, leading from the street on into the canaverous doors of the casino. Crowd of hundreds has gathered with velvet ropes and besuited bruisers keeping people back, with a huge sense of expectation and anticipation. 2 huge limousines, the color of polished midnight, sweep down the road with their engines revving with beastly power and draw to a stop by the end of the carpet. A casino flunky opens the door, and it's them. You've never seen them in person, not in person. You've never seen them before, not in person, but you know them. The Big Five, the constellation of stars that hang over this place. The guys, the dudes, the big cheeses, the casino bosses, live and in person. The Rat Pack. There's Mammon out of the limo first, recognizable, but not the best known of the pack. Tan suit, sharp, eyes glinting like diamonds, smile like a razor. Asmodeus, dark-haired and suave, the best looking of the boys and knowing it, bowing to the roaring crowd. Beelzebub, maybe swaying a little, that smile full of cheer, loving the moment, probably intoxicated but completely in control. Belphegor is behind Beelzebub, short, smooth, his bad eye dark, laughing at some joke he just made, trying a little harder than the others to keep up. But the Wands is his casino. You can tell it from the way he struts. He's the host tonight and he's reveling in it. The crowd is going berserk, screaming, shouting, throwing themselves at the barriers. Mammon, Asmodeus, help me, save me. Mammon, please. They all love Mammon. A chip, just one chip. I'll do anything. My wife, my children, I beseech. The bouncers are wading in, punching people down. You see bodies fall beneath the crush and not come back up. And last out of the cars, it's the main man himself, the charmer, the chairman of the board, old Red Eyes, live and in person, his infernal majesty, Satan. And he's looking good. That suit, Italian cut, the best. The hair, immaculate. The horns, manicured. That smile, everything you've ever heard. The charm, you can feel it like heat from a blast furnace. The crowd screams rise to a crescendo. He's playing to the masses, waving, grinning, striking poses, and he looks your way, yes, right at your group, like he recognizes one of you. Makes his fingers into a gun, points it in your direction, mock shoots, pow pow at you, smiles a half smile, turns away, and he's gone, strolling into the casino, and the doors close behind him like curtains at the interval of a play. And that's where we'll end the session.
Fantastic.
Told you we're fucking dead.
Oh,
We're all
man.
shit people that went to fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. Okay. Wow.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, folks. Katie, that was awesome.
Yes.
Yay!
Well done. Very well done.
Yay!
Oh, good God. That's a thing. So, we're definitely in hell.
Yeah, you are. I can spoiler alert that you're in hell.
Oh, geez, that was definitely a thing. Oh my God. Okay, so yes, nice, very nice. So, I guess we're gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and do our outros here, as we have come to the end. Is this the end? Is this the end of the act?
Yeah, this is the end of the act. We actually
act
made it
two.
through 29 pages.
Yay! Awesome.
We did that.
And only skipped one part. So that's actually, you only skipped the coyote part.
We tried. We tried.
We
to
tried
get to the
so
coyote
hard.
part. We tried so hard.
We wanted that coyote so bad.
Somewhere out in the desert, a coyote is just sort of mopping its brow.
Yeah, it's like,
Dodged a bullet that time. And then he chases a roadrunner off a
Yeah,
cliff.
basically sighs and returns to his Acme catalog. All right, folks. Well,
Fucking rude one. I was like, meep, meep, and fucking guns it.
but and now we know. Now we know that Parts of Hell were designed by Chuck Jones. But in any case, we're gonna go ahead and go around and do our outros. Folks can feel free to say where to find them. Feel free to say where to find you and any thoughts final thoughts you have about this session, favorite moments or anything like that. And we will start with Katie.
Yeah, I'm Katie. Thank you all so much for I don't want to say putting up with me, for like being patient with me, because I was really, really, really nervous, and I think that it was really fun to run it, and I was super, super nervous, but I think it ended up being okay in the end. So I'm really glad that y'all had a lot of fun. That's all that mattered to me.
Oh yeah.
I'm Katie. You can find me on the internet everywhere at Katie Face. Tonight I'll be playing Alas for the Awful Sea. No more Alas Vegas. Alas for the Awful Sea. But over on off_the table on Twitch, that's where I play through the week. Tomorrow we'll be playing Godson. Thursday we'll be playing Good Society. Friday we'll be back with Hark, which is Cypher System. Sundays I'm on Salty Sweet Games playing Witcher. Mondays I am part of our Actual Play Urban Shadows podcast, which comes out on all your favorite podcatchers. But that's where you can find me through the week. Anything else that I'm doing, I post on Twitter. And I'll be back here next Tuesday, not GMing.
Yay! Awesome.
Awesome.
Very cool. That was great. That was great. And I enjoyed it so much. And now let us head over to Darcy.
Hey, it's me, your boy, Darcy. This session has been lit. We finally realized we're dead, guys. So anything goes. There are no sinning when you're in hell. But you can find me everywhere at Brit Empress or Brit_Empress. Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. I'm a cosplayer and makeup artist, and also a big time lover of tabletop games.
Yay! Awesome. And finally, over to James.
Hey, I'm James. Gimbo to my friends. You can find me here in my office, I guess. I don't have much of a social media presence. I have Silver Production 42 on Twitter. Nobody follows me. But I do write books. You can find them on Amazon. If you like stories actually kind of like this, very noir, very supernatural, that's what I write. Today's game was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I have more theories, and I know what a picodon is, and it disturbs me.
Yep.
What?
Just Google what a picodon is. It is not a Pokemon.
Damn it, that's my guess. Go on.
We're all trapped in a Pokeball. It's not
Probably actually
a Pokeball.
Mood.
Doom! Excellent. Well, as for me, I'm Jim. This is my channel. And you can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some of my fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. So, what's happening on this channel? Well, daily in the mornings, by and large, I'm trying to do chatting. Just sort of I come on and I just ramble. So if anyone, it's been happening roughly sometime around between 10 and noon-ish. And so that's kind of when it's happening. For anyone who wants to just hang out. But on tomorrow night, Wednesday night, we return to our Masks campaign in Doctropolis as we get to see what's happening next as we transition over to our next bit. Starting our second volume. So it's another sort of issue 0 we're doing. On Saturday, well, before I even get to Saturday, on Thursday and Friday mornings, I will not actually be doing stuff here because I'm going to be over on Dee's channel, Praxagor Thesmophoria, and we are reading the classics. I'm going to be helping out with Antigone on Thursday, and on Friday I'll be taking parts in Richard III. So I'm delighted to sink my teeth into those. Then on Saturday, we have our regular Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. On Sunday afternoon, normally we do one-shots. This time we're going to be doing an Invisible Sun development session with a couple of folks who are guests that'll be coming in, and they'll be part of what's going on in the world, but kind of on their own thing. Then Sunday evening, we have our regular Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltnaw, which is Ghosts of Saltmarsh in space. And then back around to Tuesday for more Las Vegas. And we will take on Act 3 and see what happens, and I cannot wait. In the meantime, sign-ups are still open right now for a couple of short campaigns that we have starting next month. We have The Sprawl coming up, which is powered by the Apocalypse, Cyberpunk, going to be run by guest GM Brian. And we have Monster of the Week, which I'm going to be running. It's basically also powered by the Apocalypse, supernatural monster hunting genre. So very much looking forward to that. Very soon I'm going to get in sign-ups for, put up sign-ups for a one-shot of Something Is Wrong Here. Which is going to be in early April, and that is a very, very Lynchian game. Apparently, very much meant to emulate that kind of story, sort of David Lynch type deal, still trying to figure out how to translate it to the online medium, but we shall see how it goes. But if you want to go to do a sign up for something, you can go down and click on RPG sign up, or go to jimmyesthatjim.com and click on game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. So when we hit the end card, who shall I raid? It's the end card. I think it has been some time since I have raided Susanna Grace. We'll raid her. They're playing the Witcher RPG. So we shall go forth and say hi to her. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Farewell.